And we are live. Welcome back to the Open Field Podcast. I am your boy Random. I'm here with Riddell, who's Mahomes. Look. I'll say this about Riddell: he stays 10 toes down, even when on life support. And Michael Baldino, the Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions, and boy, how did they do it? In probably the worst case scenario for Riddell, and Chiefs fans and Mahomes fans everywhere. But they were dominant. They put, and everybody's been saying it. It's like the theme of the Super Bowl, belt to ass. That's what that was. Obviously, with the Super Bowl comes narratives. We are going to dispel a lot of them because and I'm the Brady guy, just because Mahomes lost, let's not act, Patriots fans. Let's not act like this man still ain't on a nasty trajectory, and I'm a Brady guy, all right? But also Chiefs fans, let's not act like your team just wasn't in 3 straight Super Bowls and your team is straight trash now. So let's not do that either. I'm going to be objective.
I don't know. I got a lot to say about the construction.
I know. I understand that there are holes. There are holes in almost every team except for
except for Philly.
We'll get into it because I really want to deep dive.
But let's be real. Let's just be real across all accounts.
No, absolutely. But let's take care of all the other stuff first.
Mm-hmm.
Still mad at Luka, but we'll talk about that another day. Let's take care of all the other ancillary stuff because once we talk about the Super Bowl, I want to talk about it with all the energy. First things first, fellas. The Jets have laid an ultimatum on Aaron Rodgers. The first things first, the first report said they're not going to bring him back. And then they said one of the reasons for him to come back is he got to stop going on the Pat McAfee show, and he ain't going to do it. I don't think so. So now we got to think about apparently the 49ers have been floated. Aaron Rodgers to Pittsburgh. All of a sudden, Matthew Stafford is not going to be in LA anymore. Let's talk about it a little bit. Let's spend a few minutes on it. Aaron Rodgers, or should he just retire, or should he just keep playing and try to get to the 49ers somehow? Which means if he goes to 49ers, Brock Purdy is on the market. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about it real quick. Go ahead, fellas.
Yeah. Look, to me, I feel like Aaron Rodgers should just retire at this point because all these, like this Niners talk, that would just be so stupid. Like, I'm not a Brock Purdy guy, but to just sit there and act like that Brock Purdy should be benched for Aaron Rodgers above all people for no reason. I mean, Brock Purdy clearly had a better season than Aaron. And at this point, he's looking like the better quarterback. I think the only place that would be good is Pittsburgh because, I mean, I feel like it's Russell or Aaron, like it's a toss-up at that point. Both of those guys are old. Both of them are flawed. But what's the best case scenario for Aaron? You're going to an arguably way worse situation offensively where the offensive line is lacking. The run game is lacking. You have one receiving threat. Like, is it going to be better than what it was this year? I doubt it. I completely doubt it. And the whole thing about him not wanting to be on the McAfee show, like, dude, you're not one of those guys anymore. And the reality is that is a problem for the organization for you being on there because it's just the optics, the amount of pressure that you put on the team when you're going out there saying things. I don't care how media trained or how objective you are. It doesn't change the fact that the optics look bad. Every single time you play bad, they're going to be talking about it. It's just going to bring unneeded pressure to the franchise. So I'm an Aaron Rodgers guy, but he should just retire, bro.
I mean, look, I'm not going to besmirch a man if he wants to keep playing, obviously. But, hey, man, if you want to keep playing, you got it. Things have to change. The days of you being Aaron Rodgers, you can hold a franchise hostage, those days are done. They're done. So if you're going to go, you got to go be a company soldier. And he hasn't done that in a long time. So unless you're willing to make those sacrifices, retire. But if you're going to go to Pittsburgh, where I'm sorry, I understand that the situation is not as ideal, but we win in championships, and the New York Jets were hostile. But try to pull that crap in Pittsburgh with Mike Tomlin and the legacy staff they have over there.
It's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work. And you want to throw away your legacy even more? Don't look. I think he should retire, but if he can't find a way to get to San Francisco, and Shanahan is cool with it, go ahead and get there. Just do what you can. But at this point, I don't know what's in his future. Riddell?
Yeah, random is frozen context. Nah, for real though, like Aaron Rodgers is not Deshaun Watson washed, but Aaron Rodgers is too much of a diva for anybody to want on his team at this point.
But
There's a reason why Aaron Glenn was like, yo, get off the Pat McAfee show because you be saying some BS on there and you be causing issues that don't need to be issues for the organization. Because if we're kind of going into the X's and O's and really diving into the talent of the team, Robert Saleh was a successful coach who had a bad quarterback. Nathaniel Hackett was a terrible hire. Bringing in, which is due to Aaron Rodgers. Bringing in Alan Lazard as a second option.
Stupid.
Not it. That's because of Aaron Rodgers. Bringing in Randall Cobb was Aaron Rodgers. So before all of that, they had an elite defense. The defense took a dip. Why? No idea. It just came out of nowhere that the defense took a dip. Breece Hall was a stud. Now, it could be due to injury, but he was a stud before Aaron Rodgers showed up. Garrett Wilson, people were saying, oh, man, this guy's going to be top 10. Now he's a legit quarterback. And because of the performance between Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson, too, he's not off the hook. People are starting to step back from that train of him being a top 10 wide receiver. Aaron Rodgers came and made this. This is when it becomes more about the talent and becomes about the chemistry. It becomes about the cohesion. And Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback that has so much of an ego and so much pride that you can't reliably trust that he's not going to ruin the flow and the culture in a locker room. That's just the reality of the situation. Because no way you go to a Jets team who's one of the most impressive and most talented rosters in the NFL, and you guys suck. You guys are terrible, losing all these close games. Because it wasn't like they were consistently getting blown out. No, there's a lot of close games with good teams. They just kept on losing. So, yeah, Aaron Rodgers, he may still got some juice, but is that juice worth it considering the poison that's going to come along with it? I say no. And you better not try to come join my New York Giants.
But it's also like he's still, I mean, he's Aaron Rodgers. His arm is obviously still good, but it's not what it once was. I think even the last season he was in Green Bay, he definitely took an initial dip. But, the context around that wasn't more because of the receiving core not getting a separation. But I think now we can, all acknowledge that he did take a dip that season. But to me, he may not be as washed as Deshaun, but when it comes to that mobility, I mean, it's done. I've never, Aaron Rodgers, throughout his career, wasn't super mobile, but he was kind of like Mahomes in the sense of he had that sneaky quickness. He had that ability to get out of pressure. And as good as he was in the pocket, he still relied on that to make him, elite off script and elite in the pocket, which just made him who he was. And that's completely gone at this point. That is what's legitimately washed. And with the Aaron Glenn thing, it's kind of like if a head coach comes in, for high school, let's say, right? You get a new head coach. You got a lot of older guys, juniors and seniors on the team. That coach is going to establish his leadership. He's not going to allow the best player, the senior, to go F off at the beginning of the season because he wants to let it be known that you have to respect me. It's the exact same thing with Aaron Glenn. There's no way in hell he's going to let Aaron Rodgers come in and ruin his shot to win because we all know what it is for African-American coaches in the NFL. One bad season, 2 bad seasons, say goodbye to another chance. And, I mean, you can't let a guy like Aaron Rodgers ruin that. And the reality is if you have him back, those expectations are still going to be high because of the talent on this team, because of what he once was from the general public. You're going to need to win. So, yeah, to me, it just doesn't make sense for them to bring him back. And, when you talk about Tom Brady in his last season, Peyton Manning on the Broncos after he threw 56 touchdowns, what got them over the top was the leadership. Like, that's what got them to where when they were struggling, like even Tom Brady's first year in Tampa Bay, the first 6 to 8 games, he didn't play necessarily like we seen from Tom Brady the past 6 years, but that leadership got them to keep buying and keep buying and keep buying. And then once Brady hit that window where he was playing lights out again, everything changed and they were able to stay on track. If you don't have the right leadership, then you're going to completely collapse like the Jets did. So
yeah,
that's
I mean
very much all I got.
yeah, that's always let's wrap this conversation up. I mean, that's always been Aaron Rodgers' kind of deficiency when you compare him to Brady, Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes. Sure, he's just I think at his best he's just as talented as Mahomes, I would say. But in terms of him we've seen multiple teammates. I mean, one of them is at Fox, just dropped the gem. All right, we've seen how he's embraced his conspiracy theories. I don't care that you believe in conspiracy theories. I care that you're spreading them and it's also affecting your team. You wanted to run for vice president for some reason. That stuff matters. But you know what, Aaron? Let's see what you do. You got a lot to make up for. You're still a Hall of Famer, but with the damage you've done, especially to the point that some of the writers have turned on you, and these writers decide when you get in the Hall of Fame, you might have hurt your chances to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
But he's still one of the 5 greatest quarterbers ever.
He is, but you know how it is, man. You know how it is.
No, yeah. With all that being said, we got to keep it real, regardless.
Yeah. So Matthew Stafford. Now, I want to do some more deep dive on this, but just kind of there's F dot. But just kind of seeing that all of a sudden he's out in LA, when I still think Matthew Stafford is one of the 7 to 8 best quarterbacks in the league, and I'm confused that. Did he want out? Did the Rams not want him anymore? But now, if I'm the Steelers and I know Matthew Stafford's available, that's the guy I get. And he's a leader.
The Steelers don't deserve nothing, bro. We done with the Steelers.
I agree, but if Matthew Stafford's leaving LA for some reason, which means that tells me Sean McVay has a quarterback that he sees and he wants.
It's mostly Matthew Stafford wants to get paid. That's the thing that's going on right now. He wants to get a contract. He wants to get shirt up, and the Rams are probably not committing to him, and that's why he wants to leave. And Cooper Kupp is already leaving already. Like, Cooper Kupp requested a trade, so he's gone. So right now, Stafford's gone, Donald's gone, Kupp is gone. I feel bad for my boy Puka. And I don't know who the quarterback replacement will be, but there's only one place that makes sense. I'm not going to lie. He's going to be a New York Giant, ladies and gentlemen. He's about to be a New York Giant. You see what Malik Neighbors is tweeting? He said 9 GOAT. He's talking about Matthew Stafford.
But for what?
What do you mean? We just signed him. We don't need to trade him. We're just signing him.
He's a free agent this year?
I actually don't know, so we might. I didn't look it up, but the Giants want Matthew Stafford, and we will pay him. Give him that money. Put a quarterback on this team with Brian Daboll. People sleep how good this Giants team is because of how bad Daniel Jones.
That's why.
Tim Boyle, freaking Drew Lock, freaking Tommy DeVito are. This is one of the worst quarterback rooms I've ever seen in my life.
That's what he has. The Rams have a potential out after this year, but he still has 2 more years left on his deal.
They basically forced him to request a trade. It was like, yeah, we're not trying to keep you.
Yeah, we'll get him. We'll trade for him. We'll take him.
I don't. If I'm Matthew, I'm staying in LA. You got one of the best offensive minds in the league. That defense is ready to go. I understand Cooper Kupp is leaving, but he was getting old. He was still getting injured. Puka's the number 1 guy, and they got good enough. They got a good running back. They got a good tight end. You can find another receiver. Plus, the ones that they have, I like what they still have.
Marcus Robinson not bad.
But okay. This is Riddell.
He wants to get paid. That's if the Rams not paying him, he's not staying.
I would not go to the Giants though.
Hey man, we'll pay him.
I understand you'll pay him, but then he's going to spend the rest of his career in obscurity.
Defensively, the Giants have some weapons over there. They have a good draft. A good good draft.
Bro, if I go top to bottom with this Giants roster, I'm telling you, we are better than people think.
We're better than the Rams?
I said we're better than people think. If with a legit quarterback, our defense is better than the Rams. I'm telling you right now, our defense is better than the Rams.
I'm not going to argue
Dexter
that.
Lawrence, Brian Burbs, Bobby Akereke, Micah McFadden, Drew Phillips was sneaky, a dog rookie cornerback that nobody's talking about.
He
was a dog. Tyler Nubin was also very good for the Giants as a rookie.
Deontay Banks?
Still got Banks.
He's our third quarterback.
He
needs to. He might have a comeback year next year. You never know.
Deontay Banks, man.
We got a squad. We got a coach who was coach of the year not 2 years ago. We have Malik Neighbors, who's if we take out the rookie tax, he's a top 10 wide receiver. Let's be very honest. That dude is a demon. We got Theo Johnson, who was a rookie tight end, who is sneakily really good. We just need more offensive line help. Tyron Tracy is a sneaky good running back. Wan'Dale Robinson, number 2, maybe bring in another wide receiver, or maybe Jalen Hyatt becomes a guy. We got a squad. I'm telling people, we just need a quarterback.
Here's the thing, though. Do you believe that adding Matthew Stafford makes you a playoff team?
Yes. I'm telling you right now, we're a playoff team.
Yeah.
So, I'm not arguing the fact that you guys might be better than what people think, talent-wise, in the quarterback position being so dog.
Yes,
a big reason. Like, I can, I was going to say it. Everybody see? No, but I think my thing too is like, okay, yeah, your defense is solid. Okay, like it has some solid pieces. Offensively, you have Malik Neighbors. But this is the issue. The offensive line still sucks. And if you bring in Matthew Stafford, Matthew Stafford, I think he's still top 7, top 8, maybe top 6. I'm honestly going to need to dive in the film before I give out my direct top 10 rankings. But I think he has taken a dip from last season to this season. I think he has. I think his regular season play definitely dipped from the year before.
I mean, they had injuries all season.
That's fine, but I still think when everybody got healthy, they weren't necessarily playing. They did start winning, but I don't think Matt Stafford was particularly playing well until the playoffs started. And I'm not going to give him flack for the Eagles game because that was a snow game against a really good defense. And he had a couple good throws. Like, he didn't play bad. But I just don't – this is the thing. It's like, okay, are you going to buy into a 2-year window to make the playoffs on the off chance that's probably 50-50? For what reason? Like, if you're an Arch Manning guy, why don't you just wait another year? And
because the owner said that this is basically the final year for Brian Daboll and Joe Shane. They need to win this year. The owner made it very clear they need to win this year. They can't wait for Arch Manning. It's not an option. So what we can do is we could trade for Matthew Stafford, and we could potentially draft Shador Sanders, or we can draft a lineman. So maybe get Will Campbell. So we'll have Andrew Thomas, who's one of the better left tackles in football. We'll have Will tackle to shore up the right side of the offensive line. And although the offensive line is not like great, Andrew Thomas got injured last year. There is some injuries here and there. Daniel Jones made the offensive look worse than it actually is.
I agree with that. No, he's tough. Yeah,
so we got
that, but I just don't know if you want to leverage. I mean, you're not probably going to leverage your future for Matthew Stafford. You're going to have to give up something, though. It's not just going to be something where it's like a 3rd or 4th rounder. You might have to give up a 2nd, maybe even a 1st. And it just, to me, like, look, I think the Giants owner is stupid because if they don't make the playoffs but look better, I don't see why you would fire Daboll. If you're going to fire Daboll because you don't win, you should have fired him this year because it seems like an overreaction, and it seems like things that the Giants have done the past, say, 10 years since Eli and Odell were there, where it's just like there is no legit plan and they're just kind of throwing things at the wall and hoping they stick. And it just doesn't make sense. Like, I think as bad as the Cowboys were at times this year, even with Dak healthy, I think that they'll rebound and be a solid team. I'm still not sure if they make the playoffs or not, but I just think that their road is going to be pretty tough in that division, unless something ridiculous happens to the Commanders and the Cowboys are just god awful. So, because we all know Philly's going to stay there. Philly's going to win the division again.
Man, give us a quarterback and we can compete with the Commanders. I'm telling you this. We can go band for band. If we get Matthew Stafford, we can go band for band with the Commanders and we can talk. We can really have a conversation.
I think you're underselling how bad that offensive line is. And like, look, Andrew Thomas isn't a bum, but he's not necessarily the best either. Like he's one of the better tackles in football, period. Yeah. He is. He just was injured. Now he's injury prone. Don't get anything twisted. He's injury prone. And I do think we can go line in the draft to help shore up the line. Sure.
But that's our only desperate need. That's fair. Other than everything else, maybe get another corner because Deonte Banks has been kind of meh. But other than that, we don't got glaring holes other than offensive line and quarterback. That's it.
Okay, but the problem is with drafting Archie after Stafford, Shiloh, is that let's say Matt Stafford actually contributes to winning a few more games. So you go from losing because it's not a lottery thing. Like if you're going to get the first round pick, you need the worst record. Or the number one pick, you need the worst record. So if Matt Stafford contributes to 3 more wins, but you still don't make the playoffs, they're in that limbo where you don't get Arch and you have to build from there. So I just don't. To me, if I was the Giants, I'd be patient. You're already terrible. Like, what's another year at this point?
Hell no. We've been terrible for so freaking long.
You have.
Daniel Jones is dog water. I'm tired of bad quarterback play.
He sucks. He's really bad.
Trash, bro.
Look, I think another thing is this whole thing is because these top 2 quarterbacks, especially Shador, have been getting absolutely bashed. And Shador is not a perfect quarterback. By no means is he perfect. But I do think that he can still be good in the NFL. Will he go in and kill it? Probably not. But I don't know. It's just
Giants. He's killing it. Hey, I'm telling people, if you want to get drafted right now, y'all want to go to the Giants. Screw the freaking Browns. Screw the Titans.
I'm trying to go to the Browns. I'd rather go to the Giants.
Yeah, I think
we are the best destination. Us and maybe no. Screw the Jets. We are the best destination for a quarterback right now.
I think the Browns are cursed. So yeah, I agree. And then the Titans are just suck. They actually are they are in a terrible situation where they literally have nothing. Their best offensive weapon is Calvin Ridley, and then Tony Pollard. That sucks. So I think, the Giants are probably the best. And to me, if you think Shador's that guy, I just don't see a world where Matt Stafford's going to continue this top 6, top 5 production in New York. I just don't.
Stay asleep.
I think he should stay in LA as well. I don't know. I don't like him in New York.
It just doesn't make sense for LA either. It doesn't make sense for LA either because it's what is your direct plan? Okay, so you're going to start tank. If they just want to tank, then that makes sense.
Their team's too good to tank. But
that's what I'm saying. They're still too good to tank.
If it's just about money, then and you guys can't reach a deal, then Stafford's gone. And I know you may not like it, but there are other guys who can hold it down for a year for you. Russ is out there, right? And you can do something with that. It's Sean McVay. If Sean McVay can't get you to work, then nobody can.
I still think that any guy on the market is not better than Stafford by a large margin.
Their quarterback room right now is not good. So I don't know what they will do if Matthew Stafford is gone because there's really no Russell Wilson.
What are they going to draft? Dylan Gabriel in the 4th round?
He's better than unless they're going to get one of those 3 quarterbacks, which they're not, unless they're willing to trade up. And this is a bad year for everything we've heard about quarterbacks, then you just go get a Russ and you make it work for a year.
Ew, disgusting.
Who do you want? You want whoever the backup quarterback is for the Rams to
I'd rather have
Give me Russ.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I would.
You're
Q,
trolling.
Q.
They
We
do
talking
got
about
team
Stetson
leadership.
Bennett.
I don't
We
know
not
if
moving.
Stetson Bennett is still on the team though. I have no idea.
Hey,
You know
Q's a
what?
tier-one
What we
troll,
should
bro.
do after we
Stetson
talk
Bennett
about the Super Bowl, we'll do a quick little mock draft for the first round.
Mhm.
Like our before any research and deep dive research, we'll do a quick little mock draft for the first round. A little premature, a little rough draft,
We
a
not
little
moved.
pre-test mock draft.
We not moved by Stetson Bennett. But you know
Not
what?
at
We've
all.
waited. Yeah, we've waited long enough. And the reason why we're not talking about Myles Garrett is because he could possibly work for these two teams. But let's talk about it. The Eagles, the Super Bowl, legacies, all that. But let's start with what actually happened on Saturday. The Chiefs had a chance to be what a lot of people were saying. Well, Nick Wright was saying, a lot of people saying the greatest team of all time. That's what they were saying. If the Chiefs three-peated, the greatest team of all time, and we saw what it was. They were built to ass, undressed, kicked out the club, whatever you want to call it. Find your metaphor. It was atrocious. I got some crazy Super Bowl stats here, but first things first, fellas. I know we talked about it a little bit after the game, but now that you've had a few days to talk about it, we're gonna leave Riddell for last because he's the Mahomes guy. But F. Dot, we'll start with you. Let's talk about what you saw. Especially, I want to hear from you, especially as a Ravens fan. How did you feel about the game? What did you think? And let's go from there.
Yeah, the game was definitely very disappointing. I was hoping for a little bit of a closer game. The Chiefs definitely disappointed me. I didn't think. I mean, I knew the Eagles D line would dominate, but damn, did they dominate? I mean, that man Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith and all them boys, man, they're tough. And then the DBs with Coop and Quinion, Slade making plays. You see Gardner Johnson making plays. I mean, like that whole defense was just on lock. It was nothing Mahomes could do. The O line was terrible. Like Mahomes was barely getting any time in the pocket, and when he did have time in the pocket, nobody was open. I mean, and then he would make some mistakes. He'd make some bad throws. Those picks were bad. Yeah, Josh Sweat also, yeah, never dog. I mean, it was just a domination type of game. I don't even know too much to talk about. I mean, it was just all three levels of football. They dominated. Special teams, offensively, Jalen Hurts, he's in my top 5, fellas. He officially he took over Justin Herbert's spot for me personally. He's at that 5. I don't see how you can tell me that he's not at 5 right now. I mean, look at his playoff like games and see how he plays in the playoffs. Like he just doesn't make any mistakes. And I know he has that team. I know he has a super team or whatever the case is, but he gets the job done and he outplayed Mahomes at the biggest stage. He outplayed him. Point blank, he was making plays everywhere. It wasn't just Saquon. The Chiefs defense did everything they needed to do to stop Saquon. I mean, it was all Jalen Hurts, bro. I gotta give it to him. The O line was great as well with the pass blocking. So it was all in all, man, just a domination of a game, dominant game for the Eagles.
All right, real quick, Michael, before you go, as a Ravens fan, F. Dot, you think your team could have done better?
I think we definitely match up a little bit better with the Eagles than the Chiefs do, but I don't know. I don't even know if we wouldn't beat the Eagles. We wouldn't. Now, would the game probably been a little bit closer for sure? I think so, just because of the run game that we have. If we had like a healthy Zay, it could have got a little bit interesting. But I think the Eagles still win. That team is too dominant. They're just better. They're just the better team this year. I ain't gonna lie. Everybody's playing great. And I forgot. Shout out to Sirianni. I've been giving him a lot of hate. He outcoached Andy Reid. I ain't gonna lie. Andy Reid deserves a lot of his blame as well. Andy
Don't worry,
Reid,
we're gonna talk about
he
him.
deserves a lot of his blame. Sirianni outcoached him. Vic Fangio, great defensive coordinator. Shout out to him. I mean, Kellen Moore even he called a great game. I mean, he cooked.
Shout out Kellen,
shout out
man.
to the coaches. I ain't gonna lie, it was just domination through the coaches to the players, it was just pure domination.
I can't say serious. I don't know if Sirianni called any plays for me to say he outcoached them, but I'll
He
give
didn't
him.
make any decisions to where I'm like, Sirianni, why you do that? You know, it's
I'll give him credit because he had the balls to keep on going for it on fourth down. I'll give him credit for that.
Yeah.
All right, Michael.
Yeah, I'll get Mahomes out the way, I think, or just the Chiefs in general. I think to sit there, look at Mahomes. This is the thing that I was mad at Mahomes for. You had too many just terrible throws in that game. And like the two picks, like all the picks were just bad decisions, straight up. Like, what are you doing? Type decisions. And even before that, I think that there was the one play where they were, I think it was on their own 20-25 area. He scrambles through the pocket, goes behind, goes to the right side, throws a prayer up to Xavier Worthy that almost got picked. Like those type of decisions, you have to give him blame for. And like, if you don't take into account how bad the defense was killed in that game, it's probably the worst half performance in a long time from a quarterback in the Super Bowl. Now, with that being said, though, there's a whole lot of issues with this Chiefs roster in general that show today against a team that was just way better than them. You know, number one, Joe Tooney was getting abused. The other tackle was getting abused. And like, I think the Eagles basically were like, we're not going to let Andy Reid, we're not going to let Steve Spagnuolo, we're not going to let Patrick Mahomes fool us. We know we're the better team, and we are just going to play our game. And the reason why I say that is because how many times did they blitz? They didn't blitz at all. They got pressured the entire game. The pressure rating was worse in this game than it was in the Tampa Bay game. Like, that's how bad the offensive line played with basically 4 rushers. And they tried to take away Jalen Carter, and it didn't matter because Josh Sweat was going out to play. The other edge was going out to play. Michael Williams was going out to play. And, yeah, Andy Reid, he didn't commit to the run enough because in a game like that where the offensive line is getting abused, you either need to, number one, run the ball and try to get something there, or get short passing plays, which just weren't effective because the cornerbacks were, just locking stuff up. So, I think it's 50-50 at least when it comes to the blame. I would push it 60-40, 60 being Mahomes, because there was just too many bad throws and too many mistakes that were just super uncharacteristic of him. But at the end of the day, moving to the Eagles, I think that they showed that they're the best team in the league. Defensively, they had a master class. Cooper DeJean was strapping. Quinyon Mitchell was strapping Xavier Worthy. Darius Slay had a good game. Also, Travis Kelce sucks. He sucks now. Or no, he sucked in that game. He doesn't suck in general. But he was horrible too. But I think from the offensive standpoint, I think, A.J. Brown was fine. Devontae Smith was good. They exploited those matchups, but they also were very balanced. I think Goddard, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith all had 3 receptions in the game. And at the end of the day, Jalen Hurts, the biggest way that the Chiefs were going to lose Chiefs were going to win this game was if Jalen Hurts plays bad, keeps Mahomes in the game, and then lose it. And besides that interception, which was a good blitz call by Spags, I think Jalen Hurts played an incredible game. He used his legs more than he really has in any game. And he was making throws when he needed them. And, critical situations like the 3rd and long where he gets sacked and then he throws that dime to A.J. Brown on the fade route. Like those are plays that Jalen Hurts makes that he seemingly doesn't get credit for. And, yeah, I think Jalen Hurts, I'm not going to – it's tough for me because is he in the tier of those top, like, because the top 4, he's not gonna get on there just from this game because the regular season still matters. Like if we're gonna put him over Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, why do we even play the regular season? Like why does that even matter? But when it comes to that next tier of guys, I don't see why he's not in there. And my evaluation on Jalen Hurts is he great at anything? Is he an elite at everything? No, but he's a very, very, very good runner. He's a solid passer. He's solid in the pocket. He has flaws in his game, but he's a very well-rounded quarterback, and he makes plays when they matter, and he does not fold. There's very few games that he folds. So, yeah, I just think, Jalen Hurts was confident. They had a way better team, and they went belt to ass. I think that's what it comes down to.
All right, Riddell. Go ahead, man.
All right.
Go ahead and let it go.
Wait,
I mean, there's really nothing to
random
let
first,
go.
bro.
There's nothing to let go.
Man.
I think people.
I'll let him go
think-
because I'm gonna talk afterwards. Let him go.
Marley, I don't know why
Sure.
Jack's talking. He should shut up. I agree.
I think there's an assumption that I'm like super upset. Not sure why, because everything I've said, I've been consistent with everything that I've been talking about, and I came into this game saying, now this was worst case scenario because Saquon Barkley didn't win Super Bowl MVP, but I like Saquon. I like that he succeeded, of course. Do I want Patrick Mahomes to win and get closer and closer to becoming the GOAT? Of course. But he's only 8 years into his NFL career. There's plenty of time left. People are thinking that the GOAT conversation's done. This is why this is kind of a blessing in disguise, because when it came to the GOAT conversation, it wasn't a matter of if he could become the GOAT. It was a matter of when. But because he lost, it now becomes the LeBron Michael Jordan situation where we don't know if he can achieve it. It's a more interesting story because like Mahomes three-peats, right? And then just keeps on dominating. I love seeing Mahomes play, but let's be honest, it's not as interesting of a story. There's not that underdog feel. But
Stop. You're nasty.
What?
Shift card trolling. He just hating. I just think they're funny.
Okay. All right. See, now the Brady fans feeling rejuvenated. They feel like they are safe, and that sense of security is what makes this so great. So Mahomes has plenty of time left. I think people forget he's like 20, 28 years old. Oh no, I mean, I wasn't mad as hell. I was disappointed that this game was a blowout, so I stopped watching.
I mean, dude, who else?
Like, I don't want to watch a blowout. I'm not y'all. Like, I'm gonna keep watching a terrible game. I'm not gonna keep watching a terrible game,
dude. I was pissed off too, dude. I just wasn't on. Like,
I didn't feel like watching a terrible game anymore, so I turned it off. Same. Now, I would have been when it came to this game. I came into it thinking two things. If the game was close, the Chiefs were winning, and I have all the confidence in my mind that the Chiefs were winning. However, I had the inclination that a very plausible scenario is that the Eagles were going to blow out the Chiefs. I definitely had that on the table. I didn't say it because I'm not going to manifest bad juju. I didn't want to see that. But the objective reality is that the Eagles were a great team. And the only way that the Chiefs are going to win is if Jalen Hurts was dog water. Jalen Hurts just had to be good. And there's no way that the Chiefs are going to win. Their game plan is stop Saquon, Jalen Hurts, just do your job. And he did.
Yeah.
He did do his job. So the Chiefs got dominated. And the thing about this, and this is kind of similar with Tom Brady, there is a lot, and we'll probably get into it, a lot of things wrong with my belief how Brett Veach has been manifesting this roster the last 3 years. And I can really deep dive in a lot of decisions that I do not like from Brett Veach and my concerns for the Chiefs moving forward, which makes the situation a little bit different from the Tom Brady Patriots situation. But before we get into that, when it comes down to it, the Eagles needed the perfect team to beat the Chiefs, despite it being flawed. And it's similar with the Tom Brady logic, because this is what you need. You need 4 linemen who can get pressure consistently.
Without sending blitz.
Without sending a blitz. That's what you need to beat Mahomes and Brady. Those two quarterbacks, you need 4 linemen that can get pressure consistently without sending a blitz. Now, to add upon that, for the Eagles in particular, they also had an elite secondary. So they could take away a lot of stuff and match up with all the receivers because none of them are good separators. And Travis Kelce, I said all year, has been washed. So they had everything they needed to stop the Chiefs in particular. They were the perfect matchup against the Chiefs. The Chiefs did not have a consistent run game. They did not have separators. And on the defensive end, even though I think Trent McDuffie is still an elite corner, I've also said this consistently. I've never wavered on this. He is not a big dude. He's not a big dude. A.J. Brown is a big dude, man. He did play pretty well against Nico Collins, but A.J. Brown's even in terms of like girth, stronger than Nico Collins even.
And he's still better, low-key.
But ultimately, the Chiefs lost the game. They were just outmatched. The Eagles were a better team. They had the perfect formula to take out the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is still in the GOAT conversation, of course. And I'm just glad everybody's doubting him again. It just makes it so much more fun. Jalen Hurts is not top 5 for me, but if you put him in top 5, I don't really care that much. I just feel like, based off how I do things, I feel like I can contextualize Hurts and how he plays. He did do some good things, making some quick reads, which was a big problem with him because he tends to hold on to the ball. And I'm not surprised about his touch for like deep throws to A.J. Brown and even Smitty. I was one of the people on this platform that said Jalen Hurts actually has a really good deep ball.
Yeah, it's not like he can't do that stuff. He just isn't doing super consistently. That's like
I think he has a really good deep ball. That's why I just
deep ball wise, but like just in general as accuracy, like he can do it.
Oh, his deep ball is consistent, bro. He does it consistently, bro.
With the deep ball, yeah.
I agree. Especially when he knows he has to just throw it up to AJ in particular. I think he does it pretty well. But I'll save everything else for the Chiefs and the rosters and what they're going to do moving forward. But ultimately, I mean, it was not a great game. I'm not too upset. I would have been more upset if the Chiefs lost to the 49ers last year or the Chiefs lost to the Eagles the year before. They just got beat by
2 in 3 years, I think. Look, I think this game reminds me of that 2010 game, Ravens versus the Patriots, where the Patriots were just absolutely smoked. They were the worst team. Tom Brady had a similar performance in the first half where he had 2 bad picks that led to easy touchdowns. And it was kind of that point in the Patriots' tenure where they were losing talent that they had when they won those 3 rings, and they had to retool. And it's very similar to this. And, you know, as much as Mahomes played badly, I think that this just ignites more fire in him to continue to get better and continue to push it. Because if he were to three-peat, right, how much pressure is he putting on himself to succeed? He's literally done something that no one else does. Obviously, he's still an all-time great. He's still going to have that thing with him. But my main issue is people who were saying, if you think that Tom Brady was the GOAT before this game and now you're saying that it's not a conversation, I disagree with you, but that's fair. But the people that were calling Patrick Mahomes the GOAT or saying that it was super close, and now all of a sudden because of one game, you're just going to sit there and act like that it's a dead conversation.
It's crazy.
That's too far to me because
hey man, I love it because that's what makes sports so great. Because Patrick Mahomes, I'm not gonna lie, like let's be honest, right? KD Warriors, watching Steph and watching KD was fun. If you really like basketball, it was fun to watch. Nobody really cared about the seasons though, because we all knew who was gonna win.
Yeah.
Now people are going to straight doubt the Chiefs moving forward, thinking they're beatable. And I do think that's underrating how freaking fantastic this Eagles team is. This is one of the best rosters in a long time. But that said, that because most people are not locked in like that. That doubt.
And I think it's the optics because it's kind of unfortunate, but if you look at the playoff games where Mahomes has struggled the most, aside from that Bengals game, most of them come in the Super Bowl. And with Brady has really good performances in the Super Bowl. And in Super Bowls where he maybe didn't perform the best, they won. So to that standpoint, you know, that's for the casual fan and for people that really, really take into playoff success when they're talking about the greatest, which I, you know, do to an extent. You know, those optics are not going to be in Mahomes' favor. But all I'm going to say is like Brady's resume is up there, or it's the best, and the longevity, the whole thing. He's the GOAT at this point for sure. But let's not act like that Brady didn't have bad playoff games too. The difference is that, you know, when he got blown out by the Ravens in 2010, it was in the divisional. It wasn't in the Super Bowl. So the optics are different. But yeah, no, it was a bad game for Mahomes. There's no excuse because of the decisions that he made. But yeah, to sit there and act
Oh,
like that
no
all of a
excuse to
sudden,
the
that-
stretch. This team, like, let's be you
Right,
and
bro. I wasn't seeing a lot of people open, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
no,
exactly.
bro,
I agree.
Jules was
No.
locked, bro.
no, I
They
agree.
were locked up, and
bro.
the fact, because I named it, they had 4 people that can get pressure. That's a problem.
That's
if they
a
can get
problem.
pressure with 4 people as consistently and as quickly as they can. Like,
Even
that's a
CJ
problem.
Gardner said it, bro. He said, bro, the D line was just cooking, bro. Like,
They
Mahomes
were
was
going
constantly pressured, bro. It's just like, yeah, you're gonna have a bad game.
Hey, shout out to Early Butt. He said Josh Sweat wasn't better than Preston Smith, and I need that deaded because
Yeah,
Josh Sweat is not like by any means like a top 10 edge rusher or anything like that, but he is
He's
not
damn
no
good.
scrub. He's a
He's
very
a
capable
good.
He's a
defensive lineman.
demon, and also Howie Roseman. God damn it, that dude is the best GM in football because he turned the worst defense in football into one of the greatest defenses we've seen in the 21st century. In 1 year. Now, to be fair, he got a little luck. The luck I'm going to bring up is that Vic Fangio wanted to join the team. He had a little luck there. But
every team has some luck. Every Super Bowl team has a little luck in there.
I'm just mentioning it because, of course, it needs to be mentioned. But the fact, and you think this is common sense, and this is what pisses me off for like 31 other NFL teams. And Random, when we were reacting to the draft, we were like this. How the hell did the Eagles get Cooper DeJean and Kenyon Mitchell?
I don't get it,
dog. Like, it don't make sense.
I don't get how we fell that far, bro.
Like, dude, this is the thing.
And the year before, Jalen Carter fell right into the laps.
All right, the Quinyon Mitchell thing is because edge rushers are so valued that like guys like Latu and Jared Verse deserved to be over, but like guys like that were drafted ahead of him because they're edge rushers, and for some reason, corners aren't valued as highly as edge rushers, even though we all know that you need someone on the outside to lock up. But the Cooper DeJean thing, bro, it's literally just because he's white.
Yes.
If you watch the film, he was so good in Iowa, playing in the Big Ten. And dudes were like, oh, he's going to play safety, bro. People were saying that he was going to play safety. And like, and if like, okay, yeah, he could play it because like he's got that factor of once he gets to he's got good ball skills. Once he gets that interception, he's going to take it to the house, all that. But people that were trying to downplay his coverage skills, crazy work to y'all. Because if you looked at his measurables, if you took away the color of his skin and you looked at his measurables, you would see a lockdown corner. He's 6'1", 6'2", runs a sub 4.4, can bench press out, super strong. Like, he's got all the tools, and he literally dropped to the second round. That is freaking insane, bro.
Oh, he did get hurt. Yeah,
he did get hurt. When you're the best cornerback in college and one of the premier talents in the draft as a football player, you don't, just because he's injured doesn't mean you let him go.
Okay, but what's
that
the
don't
injury?
make sense.
What was the injury? Cooper DeJean injury in college. I just want to see what it was. If it was like hip, something like that, it'd be different. But if it's like,
and the crazy thing,
lower leg injury. Okay, I mean,
the Eagles traded up in the second round to get him too.
Michael,
they traded up in the second round. Like, it's just like it's crazy that they got both. Jalen Carter fucking got Zach Bond, who became an All-Pro his first year. They got Josh Sweat. They got
that other linebacker before he got injured. What was his name?
Nakobe Dean. They had
Michael Williams.
Mikel Williams. They brought back CJ Gardner-Johnson. This team, man, they did, and of course the biggest signing, they got goddamn Saquon Barkley. Like, yo,
I'm not gonna hold you. I understand that, but I think Zach Bond should be right up there too.
Yeah, he said Zach Bond.
Gave him the minimum, and he turned into an All-Pro.
But
I'm just talking about like the overall biggest signing, considering the name.
That's why having coaches and GMs on the same page is so important, because obviously how we went out and got Zach Bond, but Zach Bond was like, he wasn't even a middle linebacker really until he got to the Eagles, and then Fangio was like, okay, we're gonna put you here, bud, and then he's catapulted from a nobody to one of the best linebackers in the league. Like that
Yeah.
type of stuff is why
They're gonna
like
make a
the Eagles,
documentary about him one day. I think. I'm
the
pretty sure.
Eagles have just like Howie's a beast, and the whole thing too is like he's got some balls on him. Like a lot of people didn't want to sign Saquon. And, I feel like although, they have such a good offensive line and, if we bring in Saquon, he's going to have that ability to get, 16, 1,700, 1,800 to 2,000 yards. The whole thing is like they're paying a bunch of other people. And are you going to, pay a running back the money that they did, even though it really wasn't that much, to be honest. But it's just, having that ability to realize, okay, this is what we need to do. And this is going to take us over the top and not being scared because of optics. And the thing too is like that secondary, bro, that's what Howie Roseman deserves the most credit, because that secondary last year was so freaking bad. It was so bad, and now it's insane.
It was so
The
disgusting.
linebacker core was terrible too. Like that linebacker.
Yeah, bro. It's hey, this last year, after seeing Nico Harrison and after seeing Howie Roseman, who made a lot of deals, but also a lot of them like, well, duh. Like sign Saquon, get Cooper DeJean, get Kenyon Mitchell. Jalen Carter fell to you, get Jalen Carter. Yo, I could be a GM. No cap, I could be a GM.
Okay.
Nah.
Wait.
Hold on.
I could be a GM.
Hold on
here,
before we
bro.
start getting crazy.
The Jalen Carter one was definitely risky, but he was good though.
No, let's not. People always forget that about Jalen Carter. It was like he was a part of a crazy car accident where somebody died, and that's pre-draft.
But
so
it's
there
not
was some
just
risk
that.
to it.
It's not even
the
just
risk.
that.
It's
the risk worked out.
Yeah,
Bro,
and he went to the right place. But fellas, let me just take the floor for a little bit. It's time to dispel some notions and also give y'all some crazy Super Bowl stats. All right. I wish I could turn my camera on, but I feel like if I do that, it's gonna go crazy. So I'm just gonna forgive me for not having my camera on. But first things first, fellas, like Riddell said it. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sure MJ is gonna say that Jalen Hurts the best quarterback in the league. CJ Gardner-Johnson said it. I'm sorry, CJ. If before the game you were told you could either have Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes, you taking Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
Eagles or not. Like, and let's not act just because he won the Super Bowl that he is now in the same conversation as the four guys in front of him. They're just better than him. But that's okay that he gets the opportunity. He's like, hey, I've played him on multiple occasions. But ask Howie Roseman, truth serum, because he gonna be capping right now. He's capping right now. But truth serum, he'd take Mahomes in a heartbeat over Jalen Hurts, and twice on Sunday. So let's get that fact straightened out. Now I'm with Riddell. I'm with all the people who are saying it. Mahomes is still on GOAT trajectory. But the worst part about this right now is that this loss is such a bad blemish on his record that he's even if unless he for some reason he went 7, that there's always going to be that. But when he played the Eagles the second time, that's how this is basically like, for lack of better. Even though I think it's on the same tier to me, but it's not as bad. This is just as bad to me. As 17-0, because you're going for a 3-peat and you got blown out. I think it's on the same tier of loss. Don't get me wrong. If we're doing a countdown list, it's not 17-0, but it's just that bad. You cannot, because the reason why I'm saying that is because if the Chiefs won that game, Mahomes is the GOAT. This Chiefs teams are the greatest of all time, and they're doing something that's never been done before. One of the hardest things to do in team sports is go 3-peat. The last team in American sports to 3-peat was the Shaq and Kobe Lakers. So that's why I'm saying that. It's not, don't get me wrong, it's on the same tier of loss, but it's not 17-0. And I'm saying that because you cannot get blown out like that. You just can't.
Well,
Can't. That's why it's bad. If the Eagles beat them 34-20, and it was like, okay, it was a close back and forth, but the Eagles just pull away, it's different. Mind you, this is what my opinion. I'm not trying to be nasty about that. I just think because you cannot get blown out like that. That's one of them 90s Super Bowls. That's Dallas Cowboys, Buffalo Bills.
This is like the John Elway versus the Niners.
Yeah, it's just that bad, especially with the pedigree.
Bro, the team is way better.
No, that's but I have to agree with Riddell. if the talent discrepancy wasn't so clear, I'd be on board. But like,
Man,
it's just
I'm always gonna fight against that because the Eagles win or the Chiefs win. What we're saying about this team is ridiculous, and we all know it.
it's a fair
Because
point.
if the Eagles won, if the Chiefs won, we all know this is not one of the greatest teams of all time. It's not. There are a couple Super Bowl losers I'd pick to beat this team.
I mean, the only person who says that is Nick Ray. I never even said that on there. as well.
But and it's just
It's
that.
not good.
But dude,
I
you could
also-
make an argument that these 3 years that they were in the Super Bowl, these 3 years in a row, weren't even the best teams that they've had in Mahomes' tenure.
They
No.
weren't. Not
Yeah,
at
they
all.
weren't. That's what I
Every
mean.
single year, people thought that this team was going to lose in the first round or the second
Yeah.
round.
Like
Every
last
single
year, the
time.
defense was legitimately like crazy because of that cornerback duo specifically, and then Chris Jones, obviously, and then linebacker crew is still good.
Now,
but
thank you for mentioning that. Now, I understand that this Chiefs team is not as good as either people in the media said it was, or people thought they were, or Chiefs fans thought they were. But let's not act like this team is the Panthers. There's still all pros on this team. Chris Jones is on this team. There's still good players on this team. Now, could it be better? We all agree. They could have went and got better receivers. Right? Rashee Rice doesn't get hurt. Things that happen over the course of a regular season. But let's not sit here and act like this team was garbage when it wasn't.
no, it's not garbage. It's not garbage.
But I've heard people say that, like, oh, and people are saying, oh, and before, I'm not going to call this was an all-time performance by a great defense. If the Eagles continue this level of defense for years, then we could talk about it being all-time. Because I've heard people say that Mahomes or Brady never played this team in the Super Bowl. Like, okay, so the Legion of Boom just doesn't exist. Like now, all of a sudden, Legion of Boom doesn't exist, right? Now, at the same time,
No, this Eagles defense can make a case with like so many defenses.
I want to see them do it again. That's my thing. Before I make that claim, let me see them do it again.
I'm just going talent for talent. I'm not talking about like legacy of defense. Like,
But in order to,
because the reason why that's not even as feasible is because Darius Slay might retire, so we don't know what's going to happen.
He's coming back.
There's rumors that he might retire. Zach Bond might not come back on the team because I don't think he's on a long-term contract. He might have.
He was a minimum deal, but I think you'd be irresponsible for Howie Roseman. Like, look, if they throw
him back.
Yeah, if the Eagles throw him a big money deal and then the Panthers show up and say, we'll give you $70 million.
Well, this is what Belichick would do.
So, I mean, that's a wait and
out
see.
the blue.
That's a wait
when he wants something good, and then
Look,
just
that's a wait and see. The reason why I bring this up is because the Legion of Boom, all of them were locked in and locked up. Like, they can play multiple years together. This is not a roster that we can guarantee.
But the majority, Jalen Carter, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, CJ Gardner-Johnson, like Jordan Davis, they're all going to play years. I understand the linebacking core is the problem, right? Because they got a short
linebacking core. Their best corner is still Darius Slay, so he's gone. And then I don't know if Josh Sweat is going to come back to the team. I'm unsure about that one. I would have to look into that one. I don't know about Milton Williams. I'm not sure about if he's coming back.
I'm always I'm just gonna say, let me see it. Obviously, it all depends on what's going on. This was an historic Super Bowl performance. Let me not get that. But now we're talking in Mahomes. I understand. This is you just can't play that way. You cannot be at the end of the first half and you have 30-something yards. You just can't. And don't get me wrong. Just because it happened in the Super Bowl and it makes it bad, like, we're not glazing Brady because he lost to the Ravens in that 31-9 game or whatever it was, 34-9 because it happened in the divisional round. That doesn't make it better. He still made it. Mahomes still made it to the Super Bowl. Like, if I have a blame pie, and I want to bring this in next season when we do blame pies, the blame pie is very simple to me. Number one is Andy Reid. It's an absurd loss for you. It's an absurd loss. And I'm willing to say it because I don't like doing nevers. He is out of the GOAT coach discussion because first things first, Belichick always beat him in the playoffs. Always did. Always did. He's undefeated, including a Super Bowl victory.
Since the mid 2000s, he was doing that.
You cannot, even if we give you the excuse of the Bucks Super Bowl, your team was wholly unprepared. You didn't make any adjustments. It was disgraceful. It was a disgraceful loss for a head coach. Number two is Brett Veach. Riddell, I'm with you. I was screaming the alarm bells from the start of the season. Number three is Clark Hunt, the Chiefs owner. Number 4 is Patrick Mahomes, and number 5 is Steve Spagnuolo, because I'm just saying because he has to get some blame pie. He gets like a bit of the crust because he did what he's supposed to do. It's tough. Now, the only thing I would really get mad about Steve Spagnuolo for is that he could not get the Eagles off the field on third down. He just couldn't do it. But Saquon was held in check. They only gave up 22 points as a defense. That's what they gave up.
But it was the uncharacteristic flags at the beginning.
But it was the flags too. I understand the refs got you, but that I sat there and watched Chiefs fans say that they were. By the way, the irony of Chiefs fans saying that the refs hold them was hilarious.
But you know what? I can't hear that because everybody complaining about the Chiefs getting any ref call.
Yeah, but this one, like,
honestly, I don't complain about either. But yeah, I'm not mad if Chiefs are complaining, considering everybody else consistently complaining.
But did they really get?
No, I get. But this is what I'm saying. The Nick Bolton flag was horrendous. He hit the guy clearly after the play.
The Trent McDuffie one was not.
The Trent McDuffie one was bad, and the same one as AJ Brown was bad. But the dude who lines up in the neutral zone, like, bro, you've never lined up on a football field before. Yeah, that's you. That's what's the ref supposed to do? Look away when you're over the ball, when your hand's over the ball. Like, also, the only reason, Marley, I'm saying that Mahomes was bad. Don't get me wrong. He's getting a piece. He was bad. But there was a clear discrepancy in talent. And the only reason I'm always going to fight back, when I was on this platform saying that 2018 or that 2019 or the 2018 Chiefs team that beat Mahomes in the AFC Championship game had no business being there, we didn't accept it because they still went to the Super Bowl. So I'm not going to accept it with that. But at the same time, you cannot tell me that Andy Reid does not deserve blame, the most blame, for how bad the Chiefs came out. It was weird how they just kind of were shell-shocked. You never saw that with the Patriots, even when they were clearly outmatched.
I think that's fine. Okay, I'm not mad at anything you're saying because honestly, it's not a big deal to me. I mean, everybody played bad, so really making excuses for people is not the correct route to kind of talk about this.
Like, whatever. Yeah,
but I personally, me and you, random know, and I feel like Michael and FL, you know too. The Chiefs owner is the worst owner in football. He is graded the worst owner in football, and maybe that's why
one of the worst.
They refuse to keep certain talent, letting Snead go, and it makes it seem okay because they made it to the Super Bowl. But Trent McDuffie is not a natural outside boundary corner because he's not that big. He is the elite. He is the best slot corner.
He's like 5'11".
And he's still Trent McDuffie's still top 5 corner. I want to be very clear. I still think Trent McDuffie's him. But the expectation for him to play against these big body receivers, and you did not replace any cornerback with someone who can replace that value. Jalen Watson is not the answer. Chamari Connor's trash.
Those safeties are bad.
Oh, context, the Bengals owner is bad. I'm just talking about grades. The Chiefs owner is graded the worst in football. I'm not even talking about, I'm not guessing. So, but they're both bad. They're both F, right? So the Chiefs owner, it seems like he doesn't want to do certain things for the team, even though he has a dynasty. And Brett Veach, there's so many decisions that he makes. Like, there's no way Tyreek Hill leaves, and the last 3 years you made the Super Bowl. You just kept on recycling receivers back to the team. Juju, McCole, like what? Like if Kadarius Toney wasn't such a crash out, they'll bring him back too. They were not trying to really get talent.
In Georgia, by the way.
Yo, he's crazy. Like he's insane. He's like, I don't know what's going on.
He had that one good game against Dallas.
Like, he got arrested for assault, like right before a day or two before the Super Bowl.
Dude, Kadarius Toney's the peak crash out, but. The talent was there, and we all saw the writing on the wall. Even though Travis Kelce last year, I think, was elite still. I think he was the best tight end. He was balling in the playoffs. This year, everybody's eyes should have been very clear. That man's washed. He don't got it no more. But you did not do anything to replace the value. Like, the best thing you've done the last 3 years, mind you, 3 years.
Linebacking core is honestly the best.
Oh, I'm talking about receiving talent. Is Rashee Rice. And Rashee Rice is not like a top receiver or anything.
No, but he's really good.
The last couple games,
crimes too. Yeah, he got to deal with whatever his offseason stuff was.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
I'm
she
just
nice
saying,
guy.
I've been watching the last couple of his games. Worthy been
See,
strong.
my issue with Worthy is one, I don't think he's so I'm hoping Worthy, because like Tyreek Hill used to be a kick returner, so
Right.
maybe Worthy can be, but he
Develop.
needs to bulk up, bro. Because when someone gets their hands on Worthy, he goes
Yeah,
down
when they
every time.
jab him. Yeah, when
He
they
just
press
goes
him,
down right immediately. He's also not great in terms of like being shifty and making people miss. He don't really got that shiftiness.
He's not
Even
that
though
great
he's
of a route
fast, he
runner
doesn't have
either.
that agility. He's not a great route runner. His catching is okay. Like people are gonna look at the catch for the Bills and the Texans, go like, no, bro, come on. If you watch them all year, these are not a consistent thing.
Bro, but
honestly,
like,
those plays were very lucky. Let's be very, very clear. So
also, it's like,
yeah,
he cooked in the Bills game because they were running man, and then Andy Reid exploited that man coverage by running him across the field. That was literally it.
yes, context.
The best performance that he had was in the Texans game, because when Mahomes threw up that one-on-one, he came down with the catch. That was the best thing that he did, honestly, genuinely. And when it comes to this performance, dude, this is literally what's going to happen when you're down that much. They're going to say, okay, yeah, we're just going to let you have short passes. Like, okay, bro, go ahead, because you need big plays in order to knock this deficit away. And we're not going to let Mahomes have that. So that's the only thing that they were going to like. That makes sense to why it happened. And I think Andy Reid deserves a lot of blame, because I think throughout his whole tenure with the Chiefs in the playoffs, which I'll give him credit for specifically, like in the past, was, okay, we have a guy who makes special plays when it matters. He's amazing, improvising, and I'm not going to stray away from that. I'm not going to get cute with the run game. We're going to give him the ball, and we're going to let him rock. And it worked and worked and worked and worked and worked till you came up against a defense that was really, really good and could totally stop what Patrick Mahomes wanted to do by, making the big plays. And they totally stopped that in this game. And so you have to find a way to get rid of, or you have to find a way to make that work. And I think one thing that they didn't do, they didn't try any flip screens with the running backs. They tried RPO at the beginning of the game. It didn't really work. They had a little success at the beginning, but 3 and out. And they just said, okay, Mahomes, here you go. And there wasn't enough for Mahomes to do anything. The reason why I give Mahomes blame, though, too, is because, with all the context, with all of that stuff, we still have
bad. He was still bad. He made
You can't say he was playing good for sure.
Look, no, I'm not saying you did. I'm just saying in general, like, it's the mistakes that he made were just trash. Like, it was like, dude, what are you doing type shit. It wasn't even like, okay, you threw a one-on-one and, ball got tipped or someone made a big play. Like, no, it was just, throws that didn't make sense. But, I mean, at the end of the day, too, there's a reason why that was happening. It wasn't just because Mahomes just completely choked his ass off. It's because he was flustered in there because they were sending 4 and they were winning every single time. So
yeah, they're getting pressure right in his face. Like, there's 2 plays I'm like, Mahomes, that's all you. The first down conversion that they try to get after Jalen Hurts threw the interception. Travis was in that little hole and Mahomes threw it too low.
Just dirted that ball.
He dirted that one.
I'm not going to be bad at Travis. That's a tough play for anybody to make.
No, I'm with you. And then the bootleg to the right. Now, to be fair, it was like 3rd and 16, so you kind of had to launch it. Both the receivers, Worthy was doing a little like 15-yard comeback route. I don't trust Worthy to get open from that, especially that corner was right on his hip. I didn't trust that. Hollywood, there's two defenders around him. Their only guy, which Cooper DeJean was playing both Worthy and Hopkins, was Hopkins coming across the field in the in route, but Cooper DeJean was in the perfect position to cut both of them off. But Hopkins was the only option. Mahomes went to him, and DeJean just made the better play. So, like, I still blame Mahomes for that. But there is a little bit of context, like that's kind of his only decision. Other than that, like the other interception, which was the bad ball, the guy was right in his face, but bad ball, bad interception. And then also, I mean, we ain't even mentioned it. Like, not only were people not getting open, there was bad drops in the Chiefs game. Like
Travis Kelce.
DeAndre Hopkins dropped
Yeah,
a
that was
Go back and
bad.
look at that play.
ball, bro.
I legitimately believe DeAndre catches that ball. I'm not saying he scores, but that might be what the Chiefs needed to try and get some kind of offense going. Because he's when I say butt booty naked open, butt booty naked. Like, bro, they're gonna have to censor the play. That's how open he was. There was
And it hurts.
nobody on his side of the field when he caught it, when he dropped it by the numbers.
And it hurts the most because you're talking about a guy who will go down as having one of the 5 best hands in the history of the NFL. This isn't some guy who is even just good with hands. This is one of the best catchers of the football we've ever seen, and he dropped something like that. And then one comment that I thought was interesting, looks like Travis Kelce's out of shape. I'm not saying he was out of shape, but in reality, when you get that old, you can't train the same way you used to. If Travis Kelce trains the same way he did at 26, he's going to get hurt because of the wear and tear, because of the fact that he's old. Like, this is just what happens when you get older and why guys get washed up. You know, if freaking, I don't know, if any guy could train the way that they usually do at 26, at 36, and guys would be playing to their 43, but that's not how the human body works. You know, father time catches up to you. The biggest thing for me was the drops from Travis Kelce. It's been a problem for most of his career, and it was considerably bad in that one.
Too. We need to talk about that. He drops passes in big games. Think about the one in Tampa that he dropped that was right in his hands, and he dropped that one too, Michael.
Yeah, that was a bad concentration drop.
And
So,
just hang
the
it
big
up,
concern,
Travis. Like, you're good, bro. Like, you've done what you need to do in this league, bro.
You're a legend in the game.
Don't destroy your life because
they might build a statue to you, like in
they will probably,
like right there, right next to Mahomes. You're a legend. You know, it's fine, bro.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to be cooked. With that said, though, so this is the big concern, and this is what makes him different from Brady, because Brady came in young. Belichick wasn't that too crazy old, and started out with a different type of team. But then when Brady got older, he got a very young stud in Gronk, and got obviously moving on from some of these other receivers like Moss, Wes Welker, got a stud in Edelman for Brady's like second peak. So he was able to transition to his most iconic weapons in his second peak. I am super concerned because I still don't think Brett Veach is that great. Andy Reid is old. He ain't gonna be here forever.
He's a lifer. He's a lifer, and I mean I believe he's 60. Let me make sure. He's in his mid to early 60s. So I think a lot of people think he's a lot older than he is. Now I know this sounds bad. I'm worried about how about his body. You know, he's not.
He doesn't eat right. He does not eat right.
He does not eat right, and he's a football lifer, man. I mean, so I think he's going to be one of those people. Like I don't see him just like, all right, I've had enough. I think, like for instance, Bill Belichick is going to coach until he literally can't no more, and I think that's Andy Reid too.
And Belichick stays in way better shape than
that is true. I mean, especially when you're dating young 25-year-olds.
I'm
Pause. Move on.
He's locked in. Pete Carroll also stays in good shape. He's like 70 something. Like Andy Reid don't have that.
He's turning 67 in March.
Too many cheeseburgers. Too many cheeseburgers.
Hey, live your life, but he ain't gonna be a coach forever. Travis ain't there. The Chiefs' talent pool, the young talent pool right now is Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy, which is it's okay. It's like we don't know if they're really gonna be like that moving forward. Pacheco, I mean, I like him, but the Chiefs were never on everywhere.
Not a bell cow though. He's not reliable, man.
I don't even think. I think if you're going in with the core that you have right now,
he's a by committee
starter. Your Kareem Hunt is your spell, and Samaje Perine is your third down back. I think that's good enough with Mahomes. Like Brady didn't need a bell cow back. Sure, LeGarrette Blunt was
a year too. That was like 1 year.
Yeah, but LeGarrette Blunt, they had LeGarrette Blunt, Stephen Ridley, and James White, and James White. That's That worked. You don't obviously everybody would love to have a Saquon, but how many of those guys are
I
running
don't
back?
think I don't think the Chiefs need a bell cow. I'm just saying that Kareem Hunt is still not like he ain't like that. He don't get the speed. He's just very hard to bring down, but he ain't the future for the running back core.
This is a
And-
running back class
and-
to get one, to get a
for
second.
sure.
running
It's a
back.
deep one. And Samanje Pirine, no, hell no. So
The
he's
separator is James White low key clears those other two guys. Like
That-
James
that is
White
true,
in his
but
prime was
James
really
White,
good.
LeGarrette Blunt, like
James White
is
wasn't the
solid,
best
man.
in between the tackles runner, but he also was pretty good in that standpoint. Like he was pretty quick. He had pretty good vision. And he was an elite receiving
Nah,
back.
but okay, Nada. This is what I'm gonna say. I think this is the tough part about this loss. Kansas City has to spend next year letting motherfuckers know, like, because it's just such a bad loss that you have to go back and reestablish your dominance over the AFC. You just have to. You have to go back and you have to slap Lamar down. You got to slap Joe Burrow down. You got to slap Josh Allen down again, because you just, especially if one of those teams gets Myles Garrett, even though the Bengals, Joe Burrow's making a lot of noise right now about what his team needs to do because they have the cap space. And
they
whatever.
better listen to that boy.
They
And,
better listen to him. If they let T go, I don't like the Bengals.
No,
They
no,
let
I
T
agree.
go,
So
they
maybe,
let Trey go. Nah.
Yeah.
so maybe the Bengals could be left out. But if you're the Bills in particular, you should do everything you can to get Myles Garrett. Because if he goes to, if somehow Baltimore gets him, even though I don't think they're going to let him go in division, I'm looking at the Ravens like, if y'all don't beat the Chiefs this year, if they get Myles Garrett, don't ever talk to me about y'all being a contender with Mahomes at quarterback in the Chiefs uniform. So I'm not going to say that
the way our
because
games go.
I'm not gonna say that. Like I've even heard, like, for instance, like I know a few friends who are Patriots fans. They're like, I think the Chiefs are gonna drop back for a year. They're gonna do this. They're gonna do that. I'm like, let me see it first, because after 31-9, Michael, I was like, how y'all respond from this? And they bounced back immediately. Sure, they lost. They fought in the AFC Championship game, but guess what? All Mahomes knows is getting to the championship game.
Yeah, this is why people need to understand like context. I criticize the Chiefs roster. I criticize Brett Veach, and I criticize the owner. It took a perfect team to beat this team still because of how freaking great Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Spags are. That despite the talent, they're still going to dominate any team that it's kind of around their realm.
But he should be going all out in a situation like this.
I'm just saying, like, the Eagles are not the norm. Having this great of a roster is not going to be the norm.
It's rare.
So people acting like that. There's a reason why the Chiefs beat the Bills. There's a reason why they beat the Ravens and the Bills last year. So I feel like people need to understand that no, this Eagles team is just different. They're just a different type of team.
I think your flack that you give those guys is definitely like due, because they didn't go all out when they had a chance. Like, it seems like that they were very complacent with the roster, especially the last 2 years, because you let go of Snead. You don't really do anything to replace him. Travis Kelce's getting older. Like, Travis Kelce was still good the year before this year, but you could tell he was taking a dip. He didn't do anything to add anything. You went in the draft. The best, as you said, the best thing that you have is Rashee Rice. And I actually really like Rashee Rice, but there's still questions on whether he can be a number one receiver. I'm going to have to see it to believe it. I think he can be a top 20 receiver, and I think that he can be a really good number two receiver, like an elite number two in the slot, but you need an X. And I mean, I'm not necessarily dived into who's going to be the sleepers at receiver, really, but there's not a lot of, X type of guys besides, Macmillan in this draft that are established. So if I'm them,
deep receiving draft at all.
Yeah, like you got some, guys that could be sleepers like Tez Johnson, but Tez Johnson's frame is not a number one receiver. That's like a slot receiver. So, they're going to have to figure it out. To me, I would go into free agency. Like, I think it's time to reinvest back into the offense because, they did a really good job in creating a very, very close to all-time defense last year. But what's the chances that you're going to do that again? Because you got lucky because you had Ladarius Sneed and McDuffie on rookie deals, and that made it really, really easy.
Yeah, and then they'll just let Sneed go, and now.
And yeah, as much as Sneed, kind of had a setback this year, he's still super important for McDuffie. As you said, like Sneed is insane against big receivers. Like he is really good against the press, and he's a good matchup against those guys. McDuffie's 5'11", and his frame isn't the best, and he can get exploited against bigger guys like that. So
my issue is not necessarily that Sneed is gone, is that they didn't replace his value.
You just got Justin Watson, who's not good enough.
Like Jalen Watson is not a CB2.
Yeah.
And Tramari Connor's trash.
And also those safeties suck, dude. Those safeties were
Justin Reed is not a coverage safety, and Brian Cook is not good. So
Watson was getting cooked no matter.
He was dropping picks too. Didn't he drop a pick?
Who?
Cook.
He caught one. He got, but that one, the one he got was literally in his hands. So it's like
I remember that.
I like the fact that he basically covered ground to go get it. But it's also the tough. I guess the tough part for the Chiefs about that pick is like if you're gonna throw a pick, that's how you throw it. You put him deep in their own end zone, and it doesn't hurt you. Like he doesn't have a chance to return it back to get better field position. But I mean, you look, Schiff got unless all. You saying all these teams are on the rise, they got to beat the Chiefs. They've all had chances, plenty of chances to beat them. Like you can say a healthy Texas team beats them, but they haven't. There've been better teams that that had Mahomes in one of his worst teams, and Mahomes walked through both of them to get to a Super Bowl.
But Schiff God, you know why I disagree with that? Because is a healthy Texans team stopping CJ Stroud from getting sacked 7 times or whatever, how many times he got sacked in that game? Like, I don't care how many good receivers you have on the end. If you're getting sacked for 10 yards 7 times in a game, you're losing that in the playoffs. No, that's not happening. No. And as bad as Joe Tooney played in this game, and the offensive line was bad,
he's still one of the best.
How come?
Yeah, he's just not a tackle. He shouldn't be playing tackle.
Yeah, no. As bad as he was in this game, how come none of these AFC teams were able to exploit that? Why?
Because the Eagles team is generational.
That's what I'm saying. Like these teams, like I'm sorry, bro. The Texans receiving wise could be elite, but that's really it with that team. That the line's not good enough, and games like that are one in the trenches. The Bills don't have enough. They're a good team, but they don't have enough yet. They don't. They need something. They either need a marquee pass rusher or they need a marquee receiver. And then, the Bengals, as good as Joe Burrow is, if their defense doesn't improve, the Bengals beat them before because their defense, like people don't understand. People give Joe Burrow so much credit for that game, and I give him credit too, but that defense was lights out in the second half, and that defense was really good. And all those guys that made that defense rock are gone now. They're all gone. Like Reader's gone, Mike Hilton's gone. All those guys are gone. So
DJ Reader.
Context: Kadarius Toney was not on the team this year. He was on the team last year.
Yeah, he was on Cleveland this year.
And he fumbled against the Chiefs, which is hilarious, and when he did a punt return. But Tony was on the team last year. But yeah, Tony's a crash out. Dude's done. He's absolutely done.
You're just not good enough to crash out like that. You're not even close to good enough.
Yeah, you better go to jail.
You're not even an average receiver in the league.
When he was on the Giants, like he had that little flashes. He had
one good game against the Cowboys.
He got hit a little too hard and it started acting like Antonio Brown, bro.
So no, what happened was he had one good game against the Cowboys and didn't even finish the game because he decided to straight up punch Jordan Lewis with his helmet on, which is some of the craziest shit I've ever seen. So
all right. So before we wrap up, I said this we're gonna do a quick mock draft. This is our pre-mock draft before we really deep dive into the offseason and what players are doing. But this is kind of set the standard. Mock draft number 1, open field edition.
Ooh, I like it. This is unexpected, but I like it.
Yo, y'all see what my guy Heffley said?
What did he say?
He said, yo, Riddell, Philly defense wasn't that generational. Bucks did the same thing.
So
What?
the Bucks defense wasn't like that. Like,
The
okay,
Bucks? No,
the
no, no,
Bucks
no,
defense
no,
was
no, 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 no. No, 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 no,
I'm
no.
gonna say this, Riddell.
You ain't telling me you watched both games and think like they did the same thing. Now the Bucks
Riddell,
defense was great. I also
Dude,
think I want to preface this
Bucks
random.
defense was
I've said this consistently. That Bucks team was stacked. I don't care what nobody
Dude.
tells. Tom Brady went to a freaking stat roster.
dude, he did.
Now, but I think the difference here is in that and against the Chiefs. The Chiefs had like injuries on that offensive line. The Chiefs didn't really have injuries here. They were just getting fucking beat. I think that's the difference there.
But let's not. Okay, maybe they're probably not generational, but that was a great defense, dude. Like you had Jason Pierre-Paul, Vita Vea, you had other edge rushers. Your corners
They're still
were good.
elite for sure.
Devin White was playing like a top 3 linebacker
Phil
in
was
the league
playing
at
like
that point.
the best safety in the league around that time.
And Devin White had an incredible game and was the top 3 linebacker in the league at that point. Like, let's not act like that defense also wasn't ridiculously good. Like, that was a really good defense.
Yeah, that defense. I mean, I'd say honestly, if we do like a ranking of like the best,
you're taking the
teams-
corners of the Eagles off of it. I think you might take the whole secondary, except for maybe Antoine Winfield Jr., but you take the whole secondary of the Eagles over the Bucks.
Eagles secondary, Eagles defensive line.
Defensive line for sure. That Eagles defensive line, dog. I don't know if I've seen
Bucks do had a good defensive line
in a minute. Like seriously,
I think that the defensive line conversation is closer than you think.
No.
Sue was balling. Obviously,
Ball.
Shaq Barrett was balling, and Vita Vea was running that. Middle.
Yeah, that's
Bro,
true.
now Hefe wants to show up to talk about the Bucks. We talking about the mock draft.
Couture, no.
We talking about the mock draft.
Okay, yes, the Rams 2021 defense, their best 2 players were better than what the Eagles have because Jalen Ramsey and Aaron
the
Donald
Bucks summon this man like
better, but
Dragon Ball summon Shenron, bro.
Dude, also like, okay, yeah, the Eagles. First of all, the Eagles didn't even start Cooper DeJean until I know what the stats are. I'm saying that when it comes to overall depth, they weren't better. They just had their 2 best players were just better than what the Eagles have because they had.
I think
Aaron Donald and prime
all I'm
James.
gonna say is if you're relying on stats, that's a bad slope.
Also, if you look at the last 5 to 6 games, the Eagles were literally playing like by far the best defense in the league. They were dominating teams left and right. The only time that the only bad game that they had in the last 5 games was that one game against Jaden Daniels because they had Kenny Pickett who couldn't move the ball at all unless Saquon Barkley hit a 30-yard run. Like that team, this Eagles defense is crazy. Let's not get it twisted, dude.
All right,
brothers, I ain't come here to kick a whole bunch of crazy Bucks laundry. I realize I just came here to say this. You always gonna come across a stacked defense, bro. The Ravens had one. Philly had one. We had one. There's going to be a defense like that. There's going to be a defense like that. You always gonna come across ones like that. If that's your weakness, because we seen Brady when he played what was it, the Rams when they had crazy D-line, bro. They had a crazy D-line. They had a crazy defense in general.
And he put up 6 points in that game.
So. And won. Don't forget that part. Let's not skip over that part. And won. He didn't try. Look. Hold on. This is all I'm saying, guys.
So Brady played.
There's always gonna be a defense like that. It's always gonna be a defense like that. You gotta scheme it up and win. That's it.
There's not always going to be a defense like that.
I'm going to keep this short, but this is the issue where when we evaluate quarterbacks, you're giving Tom Brady all the credit in that game for winning when he wasn't the reason why they won the game. The reason why they won the game is because Bill Belichick and that defense played incredible against one of the best offenses in the league. That's why they won.
That's true, Mike. That's true. No doubt. That's true. But was he the reason they lost?
No, because they did.
My point exactly.
Well, because they didn't lose. But the whole thing is like Brady didn't
play well in that game. He wasn't also, bro. Look, y'all. Look, I was just trying to say, there's always going to be a stout defense.
No, there's
somebody's always a few pieces away from a stout defense. Somebody, I'm telling you, bro.
That's easier. I
can see where he's coming from.
I
I
can't
guess.
because there's a reason why we give monikers to generational defenses. There's a reason why we do that. Like not every like the Chiefs, the Eagles defense in 2022, who was the number one defense that year, was not a generational defense. The 49ers defense last year was not. Even though the Ravens statistically were a really great defense
He
last
was
year.
carried by scheme. I ain't gonna lie. Talent, bro. Talent wise, the Eagles clear.
That's what I'm saying. Like we understand the difference between the
Oh my god,
defenses.
clear. Mike McDonald was cooking, man.
And
Yeah,
Jalen Carter was better than any pass rusher the Ravens had last season. He also
our best pass rusher was Jadeveon Clowney and Kyle Van Noy. I just want to put that in perspective. That
Also
was our
the-
best pass rushers.
yeah, also the three corners that y'all had last year.
Brandon
When it comes
Stevens.
compared to the three corners that the Eagles had this year, it's not close either. Respect
Marlo
them
was
all
in and out of
individually.
injuries. Brandon Stevens was on the outside, and then Ronald Darby. Like, come on.
Yeah,
Bro.
it wasn't great. Also,
Yeah, this Eagles
if
defense
the
is the best defense in the
2017
last
Jags
10 years. No.
defense had a legit quarterback,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not better than the Legion of Boom, no fly zone, or the Jags defense for
I'm still
sure.
mad. I'm still
But
mad at
it's
the Steelers for that.
still
Steelers had
really,
no business losing that game.
really,
I don't
really
care how
good.
great
Hey,
that.
we
So
can
let me
talk
ask you a
about
question, just to put what I'm saying into perspective. If the Lions go get Myles Garrett, bro, does that not make them a nasty defense, bro?
how are they going to afford Myles Garrett?
Miles
That's not the
Garrett.
question. That's not the question. I'm saying, like, if they go acquire,
just-
if they find some
can't
way
just
to acquire,
I think the secondary still needs help, Hefe. Let's just say they find a way, Riddell. The secondary still needs help.
But if in order for
I mean,
them
they're a
to do
talented team, is all I'm saying.
in
I
order for
agree, but
the-
if they get a corner, now we're cooking too. It's not just because the one thing about the Lions is that they have an overpowering offense. That's what they do. That's what they have, especially when the two running backs are running. Their defense could be had. Because their corners are not good enough to hold up on the back. They're not Kenyon Mitchell. There's no the relationship between the linemen and the secondary is not good enough to cover up. The linemen are not good enough, especially when Hutch is out. Now, obviously, Hutch and Myles Garrett is a nasty combo. But if Jamar Chase is still routing them boys up, I don't know what to tell you.
It
That's
is, but you
facts.
know the example I'll give you is like the 2021 Rams, like Von Miller, Aaron Donald, disgusting
Jalen
D-line.
Ramsey,
But after Aaron Donald and Von Miller, and even like Jalen Ramsey, that linebacking core wasn't that good.
dude,
That safety
whack.
duo was not that good. The secondary corner was okay.
They
Like
didn't have good
if
depth.
you
No, that's true,
bring in
though. That's true.
if you bring in a
That's true.
player like that, you're gonna
No,
have
who was the safety for them? He was playing pretty good that year, but I get what you're saying, though.
Was it?
yeah.
Wedding?
I'm just saying, like
Oh.
the reason why the
I think it
Eagles
was-
and like the
yeah.
Seahawks had such a great defense is because they were able to acquire talent without sacrificing so much to get that talent. That was
Yeah,
like
and,
a
like-
big thing for them.
And like, dude, we all know, top heavy, your best players matter, but depth is super important, and the Eagles are very deep. Like they are super deep, just like the Seahawks were. I mean, the Seahawks had what, 3 players that were all the best of their positions, arguably at that time. But they also had guys like KJ Wright. They also had guys like Cliff Averill on the defensive
Cliff
side.
Averill as well. Cliff Averill
Yeah.
is a good player for them.
They had multiple good players.
Malcolm Smith. I know it's weird because he ended up winning Super Bowl MVP, but he was also a good player.
Brandon Browner, like
Brandon
they had
Browner, yeah. Like they
they
had
had
a super
talent.
deep defense.
that became names. Like Earl Thomas became a name on the Seahawks. Cam Chancellor became a name on the Seahawks. Bobby Wagner became a name on the Seahawks.
Sherman.
KJ Wright, Michael Bennett, Richard
Bennett
Sherman.
too.
Nah, Michael Bennett was a name with us, bro. Michael Bennett went crazy with us.
He wasn't
Of being on draft. He was on draft that got like 10 sacks, bro.
But
no, that's fair. That's fair. Michael Bennett, not the best name, but overall, their best players became names on the team, which was the point. But let's do this mock draft so we can wrap things up. All right, should we just go in order? I'll start it out. We'll go in order. First pick, Titans are talking about how they may not want to get a quarterback. We won't do trades for this one.
Wow, they're capping.
I'm gonna for the first mock draft, I'm just gonna play it safe. And I am going to go get that quarterback.
They're capping. I understand that Shador is getting a lot of flack right now, but if they're standing, unless they fully trade out, which I think is a bad decision, right? You don't look at Cam Moore in the face and say, "No, we're right. We're going to go with Will Levis another year."
Man, Lakers are getting cooked, bro. This is not good.
No defense, no spacing. Well, no, I'm not gonna say no defense, but no spacing.
Yeah, it's just ugly. Ugly. The Jazz got their get back in this game.
Yeah,
that's crazy, bro.
All right. Well, I'm not watching Players' Choice tomorrow because I know they're gonna be nasty. With that said, second pick, random.
No, you got to do it. You got to do it.
No, you don't.
You think they're gonna take Shador?
No, you don't.
Miles
Garrett wants to get traded if they don't get a quarterback from free agency. I'm just saying.
If I'm the Browns, I'd rather get a quarterback for the future. And I understand I'm losing Myles Garrett. We're not going to be that good anyway. I'll go get Shador.
Yeah, you're just doing my Giants dirty, huh?
Okay.
No. I think it's the best move to do. Is it not? What would Travis?
I see Schiff got a pair up of Abdul Carter with Myles Garrett.
I was gonna say, yeah. I would.
Okay. Let's just say you go get Abdul Carter. Like, okay, that's great. You got Abdul Carter. You still got Deshaun Watson and no prospect for your future at quarterback.
I mean, respect them. Never mind. Okay, fair enough. Michael, who you picking?
Ooh, the narratives. Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, I think Abdul Carter is could go number one in this draft, so I'll just go that. Even though I think that they might bite the cheese on Travis Hunter, I think that they'd probably still go Abdul Carter though, because what's his name? Kayvon Thibodeau ain't like that, bro. They need.
We not moved by Jalen Milroe. Q. We not moved at all.
Q, please.
He might as well should just went back to college for more seasoning.
I try to have hope for Milroe.
I don't think he's a first round. I don't think he might not even be a second round quarterback.
In the words of Bama, Jalen Milroe.
You know what? He's a future New York Jet. That's who he is. He's a future
Probably
New York Jet.
Shit.
All right. So Michael, you said Abdul Carter for the Giants.
Yeah,
that would be fire though.
That would be, but that point they completely given up hope on Kayvon Thibodeau.
I think they have. I think that you should give up hope because he ain't like that, bro. That's an Oregon alumni too. I'm not just saying that to hate, bro. That's just I gotta keep it real, bro. He's not like that, bro.
Okay, Abdul Carter.
This is very interesting. F. They could go.
I got my answer, but they can go directions. Yeah, they can go different directions for sure. I know what you're looking at. Now this one, I feel like I gotta go Travis. I mean, bro, I want to put. I know it might be crazy, but I want McMillan because on the X.
Nasty.
But Christian, Gonzalez, but
that secondary is the one. Okay, the Patriots have two things. They got the quarterback, and they got a secondary.
Yeah.
Now I've heard a lot of people talking about Mason Graham from Michigan going there.
But hear me out. One, the potential of getting Will Campbell to shore up that offensive line is interesting.
That's true.
But hear me out. This is the hear me out point. Mike Vrabel is a coach that if you really look into the Tennessee Titans, before he was there, Derrick Henry was a running back by committee. After he showed up to the team,
no, they're not.
They're
not doing it.
Let me finish.
They're not doing it. They're not doing it.
Hey,
after he showed up to the team, Derrick Henry became.
Derrick Henry is like that. That's why.
And Ashton Genty is.
No, he's not Derrick Henry.
No,
you cannot.
Riddell, please, Riddell, please don't do this.
He was.
No, listen. F. Dot, do not listen to Riddell. Do not listen to Riddell.
Wait,
You pick Travis
Riddell.
Hunter, and we
Riddell.
keep it pushing.
Wait,
We
Riddell.
got a
You
nice
don't
back
think Mike
there.
Vrabel wants his next Derrick Henry?
Wait.
He wants his next Derrick Henry.
No. We gotta slow down.
I
We gotta
wouldn't
slow down.
dislike that
Hey,
pick.
Wait,
If
pause.
not, go trade for Nick
I'm gonna
Chubb.
go Travis,
If
but I
not, go
wouldn't
trade for
dislike
Nick Chubb.
Pause.
If you're gonna
Wait,
do that, go
before
trade
we
for
Nick
Nick
move
Chubb.
on.
Who don't got an ACL?
Wait. Before we move
Marley,
on.
the only reason why I didn't go McMillan's because they might get like a T in a free agency or like they might
can
go
offer the
free
most
agency.
money for him.
Wait.
If T
Before
wants to make
we
money.
move on from this, I wanna ask Riddell a question. Do you
What?
think that Derrick Henry out of college and Ashton Genty out of college are comparable prospects? Is that a belief that you
I don't
have?
know. I didn't watch college.
Nah, Derrick Henry in college was crazy.
No, he was
He
like
was,
that.
but Ashon Genty had one of the greatest college running back seasons.
In the MAC West.
Yeah, come on, he was at Bama.
Okay,
That's what
all right.
Henry
If
was
we're
at
doing
Bama.
that, we got to start taxing Travis Hunter. Like, let's.
He was in the Big 12. What do
He was
you
in the
mean?
Big
That's
12
way
this
better than the
year.
MAC West. That's
We-
way better.
I'm not saying that it's not better, but it's not like Travis Hunter was constantly just going up against elite talent. And my thing is with Derrick Henry, even though he was so talented coming into the NFL,
He did
it
struggle.
was interesting. They weren't using him like that though.
Well, he did. He struggled because the scheme that they were running, they were running a lot of shotgun with Mariota at that point, and they weren't putting him on single back like they should have.
Oh,
And I feel like he also got better. Like
So,
his
let Vrabel get his hands on Genty
no,
and
dude.
make some magic. I'm
But-
just,
that
but
would
this
be-
running back,
He might be there in the second round. I'm not
Wait.
gonna hold you.
no, he's not.
He's not. No, I'm not.
He's
We're not doing that. I think Genty's still the best running back in this class, like low key by
They don't
a
need
good
Genty
amount.
either,
But-
Artur.
Wait, but let's not act like that lines matter. Like if you're gonna take a running back top 4, you have to have a generational offensive line like the Cowboys did in order for it to make sense. And the Patriots have a garbage offensive line. Garbage. You're not gonna be able to. You're not gonna be able.
That 2016 Dallas line was nasty.
Dude,
You got-
it's one of the
You
best
got a couple
offensive
Hall of
lines
Famers
ever.
in there.
No, Saquon was a demon with a pretty mid. But Saquon's also one of the greatest running backs I've
Saquon,
ever
dude,
seen.
Saquon
Um,
doesn't compare to.
All right,
Ashton
let's
Genty's
move
prospects.
on.
There
Genty
doesn't-
did not go
there.
Of course, the
Let-
Jags
let-
do that. Throw them away. Throw them away. If they trade up a spot to go get Genty when the Patriots aren't going to get him.
They
Hey,
don't
man.
have a good offensive line.
All right,
either.
I'm gonna pick for the Jags, and I'm not picking Genty. I'm picking Mason Graham. They're gonna shore up that defensive line.
That's fair. Either Will
Because
Johnson or Mason Graham.
Trayvon Walker, Josh Allen, and Mason Graham. Now we're talking. That defense needs work. I could have went corner, but nah. I'm gonna go Mason Graham. All right, random.
Can you go to the quarterbacks for me again? Because they also are in dire need of a quarterback.
No. They're not picking Jackson. They're not picking Jackson Dart.
A lot of hype behind that man Jackson.
Dude, can we chill on this Jackson Dart stuff?
I'm
Okay,
just saying.
so-
I
I'm just-
think they are a little overhyped.
Michael, you want him to go into the season with Aiden O'Connell again?
All I'm saying is
Jimmy
don't.
Garoppolo in
No.
2025?
No. Look, I get
Jalen Milrow.
their
I'm
QB
just gonna go get
situation
Russ.
sucks, but like you don't want to reach on a quarterback this high that is not going to work. Like to me, you got to be patient with the quarterbacks. If you pick a quarterback top 6 that doesn't work out, that's a franchise ruiner for the next 5
Okay,
years.
you know what? Okay, let's say this. They spend a little money. They go get Russ or Sam Darnold for a year. So okay, so then let's go back to the all positions then. I mean, Jacoby Myers is good. You got Brock Bowers, and that's it on your offense.
I think you go Will Johnson because their cornerbacks are kind of weak. I'm not gonna lie.
I agree. Their
Or
quarterbacks
is it
are weak.
Miller?
And also, like, dude, that Will Johnson could propel them to being a top 10 defense again.
Why not get Will Campbell and shore up the line instead?
Their line is not that bad. I would go corner too. I don't think their
the
corners
Jets.
are good.
I think the Jets would. No, I mean, it doesn't matter because they're behind him. But I think the Jets would probably take Will Campbell at this point.
Okay, then all right. Well, y'all convince me, but this is tough because we haven't done any prep. But I'll go corner.
Yeah, man, my draft one,
They never gonna hurt to go get a quarter where you got now you got Herbert, you got Bo Nix and Mahomes. That's a tough.
It's
You're
not-
like, Oh, you're like, oh, thank God we got through Herbert.
Ator,
come
you're
on.
missing one thing.
Uh,
You guys picked Gibbs because you guys already had a great offensive line. Like, if you're gonna pick a running back that high, I'm telling you, you need an offensive line that's gonna provide holes. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you
Ator,
are.
I'm with you. They sleep. Genty, Bray will cook with Genty.
Bro, okay, so who's better? Who's better? Because okay, you said Saquon cooked without offensive line, which I agree with. But is Saquon Barkley and Ashton Jinty comparable as prospects coming out?
Hey man,
No.
but
Don't
hey,
fall for
it don't matter. It don't matter.
No,
We're
he's gaslighting you right now, bro.
hey, it's your turn.
He's
Man,
gaslighting.
that's classic. Okay, so Jets, Will Campbell, move on.
The Jets don't. I mean,
They do need a tackle.
line. They need a lineman.
They need
Now,
any
they
sort of line.
need linemen.
If I'm the Panthers,
Yes.
I'm fucking celebrating right now. I'm celebrating.
Yeah.
I'm
I think
celebrating.
they go Ted, bro. He needs a true X, bro. I
The
don't
fact
like
that Ted is waiting for me right here,
Yeah.
I'm celebrating if I'm
Need a
there.
true X, man. Give me Ted, man.
All right, I got the Saints. Spencer Rattler is probably.
James Pierce is nice.
I might go tight end because Juwan Johnson is not it. Tyler Warren.
Tyler Warren. Amika is still on here. There's a couple guys still on here too.
I'm gonna go tight. I'm gonna give him Tyler Warren.
It's a good pick.
All right.
Can you scroll down for me? I think Ben Johnson, their defense is good. Give me Josh Simmons. They need a tackle. You got to protect. You got to protect Caleb Williams.
Okay.
Ooh, this is where. Ooh.
I think I'm pretty sure Fulshanu last year got hurt, I believe.
This is
I
where
think
things get spicy here. I could. I don't know, man.
You think they would?
Dude, I think they would. I think
they wouldn't.
They're not
Why
getting
wouldn't
it.
They're not getting.
I don't think Shanahan needs a. I don't think Shanahan needs a top tier guy like that. He can make. We've seen him make it work.
He'll be the Cowboys.
They got CMC
with mid. He had Raheem Mostert looking like one of the best backs in the league in his system.
Why are we talking about running backs when CMC's still on the team?
That's what I'm saying.
Because he's not. Because this is the down. Because CMC's not the same.
Bro, he came back. He just came back from injury.
He just tore his ACL, bro.
They're gonna give him another year. They're gonna give him another year.
All right.
So let's
that
see.
freaking Guerrero cat was good for them. Like I don't think you need that.
If they don't do that, was it Debo wants to leave? No. The receivers are good enough besides him, honestly. I would probably take. I would honestly. Oh, they could go maybe Kelvin Banks here.
What's his name is a free agent. The left tackle.
It's either between James Pierce. I mean, Malachi's there. I don't think their safeties are terrible. It's either between. I'll just go Kelvin Banks. I'll go Kelvin Banks. I'll speed it up. Go Kelvin Banks.
Oh shit, that was on accident.
Can you go back? Can't you?
No, I don't think I can.
Oh damn! I would have.
Well,
I'll redo it.
We can remember the.
I'm gonna put James Pierce, but Michael would have been tough though.
No, Malachi's. I want Malachi. Not
You
gonna
want
lie.
Malachi?
Yeah.
Right.
So it was Cam.
Shador number 2.
Bro, see, Shador at 40 and then Cam at freaking 17 is so nasty, bro. It's so nasty.
The only reason Shador's getting drafted is because they need him. Because they need a quarterback.
I still don't think Shador's as bad as people think he is, bro.
Where is this narrative that he's bad though?
I don't because he just doesn't have the arm. You know, and also he's F-Dot. I don't need to turn my camera on to know another reason why. He's loud, he's who he is and who he plays for.
It's just not even like
his
that,
play, bro. His play is good enough to where he should people shouldn't doubt his
All right,
I agree.
Yeah, I'm going Ashton Jenny. I don't trust Rico Dotto.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie.
Ew.
No. I agree. Rico
Deserve
Dowdle's not it, but I wouldn't like that. I'm not gonna lie, because our offensive line is so mid.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't.
but I'm thinking in the future, bro. You build up that old line, give it a couple years, man. Jenny get the cooking.
But he
Brent,
better freaking be
uh,
good. I
From
swear
all
to
the
God, I will
testimonies
hate him.
what
if he's
we've
not.
heard is, I mean, Shador's arm is worse than Jaden's, but you don't need
he
a
has
top
accuracy.
arm to be great in this league.
No,
Drew Brees' arm wasn't incredible, and we saw what he was doing. Like,
okay, but Jaden,
Even Joe Burrow never had the strongest arm, right? Coming out of
but
college.
Jaden's arm is low key better than Joe Burrow's,
Right,
and also he's so freaking accurate. It's different.
Yeah.
I'm going Armand Membu. Dolphins need offensive line.
Now here, the Colts make me mad because they're a good team. The Colts are a good team. Now, are they winning the Super Bowl? No. But if you tell me if the Colts are winning a game in the playoffs, I wouldn't be surprised. They need secondary help. But God, giving them a tight end would be nice too. But are they saying they also need an edge rusher too?
Need is crazy.
They got Latu, right?
They got.
They don't need it. Their line wasn't that bad?
Still there?
They need secondary and tight end help.
I think Malachi for this.
Yeah, then give him Malachi right now.
Dude, Malachi is nice too.
Yeah, I like Malachi.
The Atlanta Falcons. I feel like this is easy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Emeka. No, I'm kidding. It's either between James Pierce Jr. or Mike Green, and you know what? Give me that Senior Bowl bias. Give me Mike Green.
Yeah, he has been kind of serum behind line.
Yeah, well, the Falcons definitely need pass rush.
What's the Cardinals need?
How long do they give
corners?
How long are you doing this?
Slot? Do they have anybody good in the slot?
They got
well, Random just asked a question.
Dortch. They got Dortch.
Oh, Dortch. Yeah, dude.
I'm not saying obviously they're not getting rid of Kyler now, but how long are we doing this with Kyler?
I don't see them drafting a quarterback one. I could see them.
But can he get a solid team around him before we start dishing him off, though? Like, bro, the defense was bad.
Yeah, that defense is not great.
Because, dude, as much as B wants to act like that they had some sort of god squad when they had DeAndre Hopkins, I'm not buying into that. That team wasn't. Mid.
That team was mid at best, and he was playing his best ball, bro. So, is
Kyler perfect? Absolutely not.
No.
Is he trash? No,
absolutely.
I don't think.
All right.
I feel like they need edge rushing. I'm gonna just go James Pierce because I feel like he's like the best player on the board right now.
Okay, Bengals. Now that defense needs work.
Especially
safety
linebackers just to ask for a trade too, and it's not Trey Hendricks; it's a long time back.
Yeah, it was like Jermaine Pratt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I could see them going Walter Nolan.
Hey man, go
Morrison.
Sure up that Ohio bias. Get that man Jack Sawyer.
I love Jack Sawyer.
I like him. He's nice. Jack Sawyer is nice.
If the Cowboys weren't so high in this draft, I would.
I think their corners are also dog water.
Yeah, and their safeties. I mean,
they just need defensive help.
Yeah,
I'll go interior defensive line. I'll go Walter Nolan. Don't know much about him, but I'm sure he's good. All right, Seahawks.
Now, when I look at the Seahawks, they're not picking a quarterback. Obviously, I will do this. Geno Smith works best when he's protected, but the problem is all the good enough tackles are gone. I don't know enough about Gary Zabel from North Dakota State. Anybody know about him at all?
I haven't really watched too much of him. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think peak casual watch. I don't really know.
They might take receiver here, dude.
No, they don't need one.
Yeah, they got Jalen.
Because Tyler Lockett might leave.
Tyler Lockett's out the door. Let's be honest.
I'll go to Buka. Go Buka.
Okay,
they don't need 3 studs.
Okay, but they still have. I know how some of us feel about DK, but DK was balling until he got hurt. He had a really good season. JSN became the number 1, but he's balling. They got a good tight end. I think if you're gonna, protect Geno. Try to minimize his mistakes as much as possible because when he is protected, he's a good quarterback.
Yeah, they do need line. And what's his name was snapping in the Senior Bowl. He was.
Yeah.
He was. He was.
Definitely. They need the trenches. D-line or O-line for the Seahawks.
Roll up again because that's that.
Well, low-key, Josh Connerly Jr. Josh Connerly Jr. might be taken over.
You need an edge too, right?
Yeah, D-line.
Take Mykel Williams out of Georgia. So sometimes it's just best to take the.
All right, Bucks.
Yeah,
corners. They need corners.
Look, the Benjamin Morrison hip injury is scary, but I think that if he's there, they'll probably take him because he was really good when he played. He was arguably the second best corner besides Will Johnson.
Oh,
I feel like Broncos either need a really good running back. I kind of want to go on Marion.
Nah, they got.
I think they take receiver.
We're not messing with their.
Or I know they can go running back or receiver. I don't know.
I think you got two good ones right
here. I know.
Luther is just sitting right there. By the way, shout out. That's my name. Shout out.
Is it weird that I kind of like Ibuka over Burden?
I like him. I like him more too.
Yeah, I like Luther Burden, but I like Ibuka better. Give me
all right.
Yeah, and then Steelers. If Luther Burden's there, we'll take him.
Yeah, Steelers take him.
If they don't, that's an absolute travesty.
Crazy. They should
just be nasty and give him Dylan Gabriel.
Don't do that, bro.
No.
Shout out to my boy.
If you're gonna pick a quarterback, then what was the point of having Justin Fields on your roster, especially in this draft?
I think they're
yeah, they need receiver help. Luther Burden.
Now, if I'm the Chargers, I'm low key pissed off.
Chargers, dude. This is gonna be. Oh wait, no. This is you, Rand. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but if I'm the Chargers, I'm low key pissed off because I lost out on both of them.
Colson Loveland.
They're going to probably take one of them. Sure, your receivers are young, but Quentin Johnston, he's on thin ice. I think with him.
Yeah.
Hey, Colston Loveland, Michigan bias. Colston Loveland, Michigan bias.
Matthew Golden, nice. I seen he's actually
he's nice.
He's solid.
He is nice.
Golden.
But they also need some defensive help as well. How long can Khalil Mack keep going? So they need an edge. They say
this secondary is great. I ain't gonna lie, they don't need any secondary help. I think the secondary is solid. Maybe like an edge rusher.
We need the 2018 Bama wide receiver room.
Definitely another weapon.
You'd be lucky if you get
tight end. See what the tight ends look like.
I think if you come away with the Ibuka or Luther Burden for the Steelers, that's a win.
Colston.
For sure.
Colston is nice.
Tight end would be very.
His production isn't great, but he's got the attributes to. He's very athletic and he's a big body.
And he's a Michigan guy.
And he's a Michigan cat.
Yeah.
Hey, Jim Harbaugh gonna like that.
Do that when I think edge is a bigger need.
Nah, for sure.
All right, you can go edge. Up to you.
Go edge. Go.
Yeah, it's up to you. I don't think it's that.
I hope the Steelers don't get Booker. I'd rather them have Burden.
Sorry. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. The problem is where T. Higgins goes is going to decide a lot of the draft for me.
Yeah,
I think the Chargers fall hand over foot to get him. But if I'm T, I'm going to the Commanders. That's where I'm going. If I'm
gosh.
That's where I'm going. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go on the fact that they got T. Higgins as their number one, and they pick. I'm gonna take Jack Sawyer from Ohio State. I think that getting an edge, so you start building up that defense, and you got T. Higgins. So, and then you.
This is a team that needs some help.
Green Bay.
All right, random cutout. Michael, go ahead.
The chances of them going defense here is low because their defense is actually really good still.
It's really offense.
Like I like Marion Hampton a lot, but I don't think they'll go him.
They don't need him. They don't.
Yeah. How tall is Matthew Golden? Is he like above?
He's a big receiver.
Yeah, they'll probably go him then. They'll probably
190.
But don't they have I understand it's not the best, but they have a good young receiving room too. Christian Watson just gets hurt.
Yeah, but like
This is a
their
tough
offensive
one.
line isn't the best. Like this is the thing though. Like I would say out of all of their position groups, I think that receiver is the worst because I don't like the offensive line isn't good. They don't draft first round receivers. You're right.
No, that's a fact.
They don't.
No
They
matter
don't.
who's on the team, we ain't drafting a
Who are their
receiver.
tackles, bro? They don't. They don't. They have like one good tackle.
They have a really good, I believe, right tackle, like a really good one.
Okay, yeah. Give me Josh Connerly Jr. Then, bro.
All right.
You get another one in there.
F dot.
Vikings. Um, defensively, I mean, they're pretty sound. They got the weapons offensively. They got the Jettas. They got Edison. And they still got Aaron Jones. The O line was pretty solid this year too for the Vikings. Damn, I don't really know what do the Vikings need?
Maybe
think
another
that-
corner because Stephon Gilmore is not the answer in the future.
I
Okay.
think their interior
Oh,
defensive
yo.
line. They could use
Interior.
another tackle too, because that other tackle, like Christian Darrisaw is really good, but the other tackle's not it. And then also, I mean, interior line, pretty much their line. But
I don't know too much about this grade. Like I don't know too much about, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Let me see
That's
the
why
O
I'm just mad. We haven't done any prep.
Yeah, I got
It's the pretest.
I got to lock in on the O line guys.
yeah, this is a pretest. Facts. This is a pretest.
I mean, I'm gonna just go. Let's just take them. I mean, let's see. Let's rock with them. Let's see. I'm gonna rock with Greg. They need a tackle, so I'll rock with Zay.
All right. Texans.
I'm hot, motherfucker. We was waiting for him to drop.
Yeah, offensive
Yeah, now they're
line. Well, they got Nico. Tank is always injured. Diggs, I don't think they're re-signing Diggs. So they might go wide receiver.
I forgot about Diggs. If Diggs comes back healthy,
Hey, this guy from Texas too. Run it up. They get him Matthew Golden.
Stay in Texas.
Yo, the Chiefs. Look, hey, I know we said last year the Chiefs wasn't like, hey, Stephon Diggs ain't going there, but hey, Stephon, come back healthy. Come to the Chiefs.
Man, I'm tired of wash receivers.
He's not washed, bro. Stop it. He's
Stephon
not
was having a
washed.
solid year before he got injured.
No, he's not washed. He's not.
Wow.
He's still a
Disrespect.
top 5 route runner in my opinion.
I get it. It's easy to be jealous of Stephon Diggs. You know, he got it in multiple ways. But
Well, Higbee gets hurt a lot. That's my thing with Higbee. But he's a good tight end for them. I know they mentioned some line, but I think they need a corner, don't they? The Rams do?
Wow, Kobe Durant, nice. I like Kobe Durant. He's kind of
Kobe Durant and Darius Williams.
Williams, yeah.
Safeties. I mean, corner is not a bad. I don't think.
How were their backers?
How were they having any safeties?
Huh?
How were their backers this year? I can't remember.
They're serviceable. They're nothing crazy, but they're okay. They're kind of mid. They're mid, basically. They're not really good in coverage.
Oh, you talking about cornerbacks? Yeah.
I was talking about the linebackers.
Oh, linebacker.
God, I'm with you.
So you know what? I'm just gonna go with Gray. Then I think they take the corner out of Texas. You can never have enough corners for real if you're keeping a stack.
All right.
And Ravens.
Onyx. I had the Cowboys.
Ravens gotta go edge rusher, high key, right?
I'll go edge rusher.
Go Nick Sorton. No, Nick Sorton.
All right, Lions. F dot.
I feel like they should go edge rusher too, just because of the health reasons. Like I don't know what they're going to do in the free agency, but I feel like getting another edge rusher just for depth reasons, I would go that or corner for the Lions. But I'm leaning more towards edge rusher. So, yeah, I'll go Shamar Stewart.
Yeah. Shamar Stewart. All right, bet. All right. I got the Commanders. Probably need another receiver. Running back room is solid. Could use a little bit of offensive line. Defense probably need a edge rusher. They got Ben Sinnott, so they're not going to get Loveland. Corners. I mean, linebackers are old.
I think they might go Omari on here, low key. I like Brian
Nah.
Robinson.
I
but
would
think
too.
Brian Hampton could
And
be-
Brian Robinson get injured too much for me.
I think Omari
I'll
Hampton
go
could
get
be
Omari.
legitimate, dude.
That's a good-
Omari.
that's a good
Him with
move.
JD?
Omarion. Yeah, Omarion. What's his name? Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler. That's all your needs taken care of right there from your running back room.
Yeah. That's
I think Omarion's the second best running back in this class.
I'm thinking linebacker too, Tor. I'm thinking Demetrius because Wagner's old, bro. He ain't young.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go linebacker.
I like what's his name? Frankie.
Frankie Louvu's good, but
Louvu, yeah.
he's also not young either.
He's a little, he is a little bit on the older side.
No real crazy edge rushers, and I don't think they need really interior defensive line help.
I gotta find some of them gems, man. I gotta find some of them gems out of them already.
All right,
Gilmore, he nice, bro. Off of Stanford, the wide receiver from Stanford, he's nice.
They do need another receiver.
He's tough. I forgot. I didn't even know he was still on here. I like him.
I'm gonna say linebacker.
He do that cooked Travis Hunter line.
Okay.
Get up with that word.
All right. Random Bills.
I mean, they need get Kenneth Grant. They just need linemen.
And this is where the steal of the draft comes into play. Because if Colston Loveland goes to the freaking Chiefs, talk about a guy with athleticism, and he can sit with Andy Reid. Oh, sheesh. I think it's either between him or Hampton, low-key. I think you just take the guys with the most upside on offense. But I think Loveland is more important because you need
a
a marquee guy on offense. So I'll go Loveland. I think
Perfect.
Loveland.
Perfect. Chiefs got a tight end to replace Trav. Also, Chiefs got Jack Sawyer's been picked already. The Chiefs do need a tackle.
Chiefs need a tackle, but I don't think there's like, okay, considering all of these tackles go, I don't know if they just reach.
Yeah, so many of them been paid.
Nice too.
And F. Final pick of the draft.
I think Eagles probably will go corner because of Slay might retire. So if he retires, then definitely would pick up another corner.
Could go edge rusher. Some of those dudes leave.
Could go edge rusher. That's the fact too. Josh Sweat might leave. You can scroll down for me real quick. Oh, Campbell actually, he's a nice linebacker. I like Jay Campbell from Alabama. He's actually nice. Damn, Scat, bro. Nobody want to fuck with Scat, man.
No,
man. It's just
not this one. Not this
Restrepo
one.
good too. I like Restrepo. He's nice.
It could be somebody. He's a second round guy. He could have somebody very happy in the second round.
Facts. A lot of these
All
guys
I'm
gonna be.
saying-
I know that's a decent draft.
Hold on, scroll down real quick, Riddell.
Yeah,
Real quick.
Yeah. I just want to see some.
Okay, never mind. I thought I saw something. Never mind. I'm tripping.
Yeah, all these Oregon guys miss me with them. None of those guys are good.
I'll probably go. I'll go Williams.
Hey, that Stanford receiver is low key gonna be a sleeper. I'm not gonna lie,
Bro, he's nice. That Stanford receiver is nice, bro.
dude. What's the grade?
I don't think they give grades anymore.
Oh, they were. Why the fuck were they grading that shit? Then okay, dude. Hey,
All right, this is our first draft, our pre-test draft. Very interesting. Very interesting. The only one that I was kind of thrown by is Abdul Carter to the Giants. I don't think
he's going that high, bro.
I think he goes high, but I just don't think the Giants will get an edge rusher.
Like he'll go top 7. I don't think.
yeah, it was either between him or Travis Hunter. I just feel like, yeah, you guys don't really need it, but I just don't think Kayvon Thibodeau's that guy, to be honest with you.
He's
That's
not.
fine.
I respect it, though.
He definitely is not.
Hey, so a lot of
Abdul
people
Carter
got Abdul going first.
I've seen mocks with Abdul Carter first.
Damn.
I
know
think
he's good, but I gotta watch. I
I
a lot of
think
his
it's
stuff.
irresponsible for the Titans to go into next season with Will Levis as their quarterback.
That's what I'm. Man, that's what I'm.
Yeah,
Hey, tank for Arch, baby. Tank for Arch.
Hell no, they not letting Arch go to no Tennessee. I tell you that much. They ain't letting.
Oh, we already seen the Manning family flex their power once.
Ain't letting
Apparently that's with the worst son. You think they with their first grandbaby going to the NFL? You think they're gonna let him go to Tennessee?
Okay.
Hell
I was
no.
low-key trolling, but I need to see Arch actually play good competition and play a full season before I'm heralding him. Okay, because if you ask early, Arch Manning's probably better than Jalen Hurts right now.
Yeah, he's wilding though. You know how.
Like Arch Manning, he's not even better than Jalen Hurts when he was in college. So
and one thing before we leave, okay, look, the Jackson Dart stuff. Okay, please. When people say that Jackson Dart has the most arm talent in this class,
oh my god, bro.
It's not saying much. Okay, yes, he's got arm talent, he's fast, all that stuff, but he's not an A grade in those things. He's not.
And his decision making.
And his decision making is bad. But what I'm saying is like the whole reason why he's getting propped up like to be a first round guy is because he's got this crazy arm talent. Okay. I don't see it being like Mahomes, Allen, Herbert, like the top of the top of the top. And to me, unless he's like that, there's no reason why he should, because as much as Ole Miss is a really talented team. They had a really good freaking team this year. And a lot of that had to do with Jackson Dart falling flat in games where they should have won. So I just think the Jackson Dart stuff is I just find it crazy how people are going to sit there and, just shit on Shedeur Sanders because he doesn't have the best arm talent and all this stuff when homie is playing in clearly a worse situation. Obviously, he's not playing in the SEC, but let's not act like that line is good. It's not good. It's not. It might have improved, but it's not good still.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's all I got.
All right. With that said, time to wrap it up. Appreciate everybody tuned in for the episode after the Super Bowl. There's a lot of things to talk about in the offseason, of course. I'm sure people are going to love the rankings, the tier list, it's honestly, even though watching football in the regular season is great, the great thing about the offseason is how really in the weeds you can get. Like, we can do tape breakdowns.
We can go deep.
Yeah, and then I got to find my new hidden gem. Now that people locked in for Drake London and Nico, I got to find my new hidden wide receiver gem that I like. But we'll see.
I'm with that Stanford wideout, man. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm gonna say that one thing I want to do in this offseason is I want to go back and just react to some games that, like, some famous games, because it's something I want to do last year, but we just didn't have the time. Like, I want to go back and watch, like, for instance, just came in mind, like the first time Brady and Mahomes locked up in New England. That to me, people think that the one when he a few weeks later he plays Jared Goff in that game where they score 50 points each and it's amazing on Monday night. But when I was like, this dude different, was when he goes into Foxborough and him and Brady are just traded shots back to back, and that was when I thought he came out just nobody.
I just don't know how we would work that out because obviously copyright. So
it'd just be I maybe we could do like a playback thing or something like I don't know.
I'm thinking we do something like we do a segment like 20-30 minutes where we watch like an historical game. Everybody watches it and then we break it down, just talk about stuff with it. Good players that were underrated at that time, something like that.
Yeah, we pick our MVP from that game. There's things like that. I think it would be fun because that could be something where we could take a fan submission. After you'd be like, no, I want to watch that Ravens Steelers game, AFC Championship game. By the way, the amount of Hall of Famers on that field.
Oh my God, that game, man.
You want to talk about a slug fest of a football?
Slug fest. That's prime Ravens Steelers matchups, man.
Mm-hmm. Like, just watching something like that, whether or not we're reacting to it or we're just talking about it later, I think that would be a lot of fun just to do something like that. We can even watch a college game too. Like, I think Trent does that very well because I know he's probably going to end up doing a Genty tape on his channel, just talking about where he thinks he could land. We could do something like that too. You know,
he's lucky because he's got college tape, bro. That's like literally finding like freaking a needle in a haystack, bro. Finding a way to get college tape is so hard, dude.
Yeah, but it's just something I just say maybe we should just think about it at some point doing something like that because I think it'd be a lot of fun to watch something like that.
All right. I mean, we'll see what we plan to do. There's some interesting ideas. But of course, gotta make it YouTube friendly because we don't know how YouTube be, so we'll figure it out. With that said, appreciate everybody tuned in. NFL season is finally over.
Damn, went by so fast, man.
Yeah.
Go watch it. The NBA did all this at the right time. Because if not, I'm gonna be like, man, I know I'm gonna watch every now and then just wait for the UFL. Because I don't care what nobody says. Well, you could. There's a sense of struggle in those games because there's a little bit of we got to make it out the trenches, and I'm always
like college football, but like crazier.
Yeah, I'm always trying to see like which one of these people are gonna make it. Like Kevontae Turpin, I understand he's a kick returner and a
the best in the league, baby.
But his story is incredible. And you see so many of those guys.
B. Aubrey, baby.
Yeah. And shout out to the Battlehawks, man. They show out. They show out for their squad over there. I respect that because they see Stan Crockett on the street, they might jump him low key. I'm not gonna hold you.
Okay, man. All right, with that said, appreciate y'all. Have a good one. Take care and peace.
Later, y'all.